All right, so far so good.
What's going on, homie?
Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? I just got back home. Gotta eat me what I can. I gotta take a shower. What's up, man? How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. This move is
What's,
stressful, man.
what's up?
The move that I was making is stressful.
Oh, you moved already?
No, not yet. It will be
Oh,
within a couple of days. You got to get everything like
oh
sorted.
yeah,
And
oh
that's
yeah.
that's the difference.
I hear you.
That's the
I truly do,
difference.
man. But I did finally put my SSD in there on the console.
How did that go? Was it easy?
It was, but I guess there was a screw that I was supposed to screw the SSD into like it wasn't even that hard. Like, so basically, I guess there was a missing screw, so I wasn't able to like actually like screw it the way the video demonstrated. So I just what's it called? Just took the chance to see what's gonna happen, and I'm able to use it on the console. So right now, I'm just in the process of, I guess, downloading the games that I had to uninstall because of memory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who. You have cable internet, right?
Internet, yes.
Yeah. You live alone or you live with your
My
family?
uncle.
Okay, cool.
Because right now I'm in the process of getting my second degree in Georgia.
What is your degree in?
Rehabilitation science, physical therapy.
Ooh, we got severe thunderstorms. It's at 8:15 over here.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, who that?
Cool. It actually works now. Dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can hear you. We got like tornadoes, yo. Actually happening over here. Hopefully, don't come near me, man. Keep your ass over there. So I'm about to start here. I just need to do my little pin here. Did y'all hear the girl in PA? We had like a one of the factories like blew up, man, and her life was saved because like the ground fell beneath her or whatever. And get this, right? She fell into a vat of chocolate. It was a chocolate factory.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Oh, that's crazy.
She lived, and it's like she was on fire. Her arm was on fire, and as the thing fell, she fell right into the chocolate vault vat.
Yes, chocolate doesn't save lives.
She was like, I was like, I mean, could have been worse, right?
Hear that, man. So what's up, man?
I've been a fat bitch.
I need to talk to you. So,
is the light dim? What the fuck was this?
So I don't.
Well, who needs to talk to
So,
me?
question: are you a PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or are you all multi-plat? Or you just want games?
Oh no, I'm a PlayStation fan.
Okay. So, what is your take on that rumor of Game Pass going to be $39 a month for a family plan?
Well, this is what we're going to get into, because that whole thing is extra mad. So we're going to get into it. We're going to go straight into it. We're going to dive in, and hopefully I don't lose power or anything like that. But we're going to
what's so
dive
funny
into
about that?
What's up?
I know Nintendo has a family plan, right? And I don't know how much. I think it's $80, right?
No, I don't know. Maybe. Is it?
Yeah, I'm not aware. But all I know, they have a family plan as well. but they're actually giving us games. On the flip side,
I mean,
you're getting games that will already come into your console.
I
Wait,
will say this. Yeah, go on, Ken.
the that family plan that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that the rumor that came out a little while
Yeah,
ago that they
days
were
ago. Days
separating,
ago.
where they were supposed to be separating the day and date stuff or whatever?
That listen, that's on Microsoft.
Wait, say it again. Who's going what? Wait. What's happening now?
No. I'm trying to confirm. I'm because I remember hearing something a while back, like maybe like a month or so ago, about a rumor about Microsoft having a plan where they're not going to have their day and date titles.
That's how it should be because just think about it.
Is this a rumor?
Just think about it.
It's just
So
oh.
you're talking about how, and this is coming from his whack ass mouth. Oh, PlayStation has these exclusives. Oh, they do sell this and that. But
Wait, stop. Who said this? You said his whack ass mouth. Who's
Phil Spencer.
he?
So basically,
Okay.
he's saying how Sony has dominated exclusivities, right? To why he's using it as an argument to get this deal the way they want it to be. Yet, you guys put your games on Game Pass instead of having your consumer actually go out there and buy it and then do that, instead of putting trash on Xbox Live Gold, put those games on Xbox Live Gold. So like,
wait, hold on. Wait. Before we go on, because I cannot be sidetracked today. Not today. I gotta be focused. Not today. We are going to be talking about Game Pass to a degree and just subscription services, but the primary focus is going to be PlayStation Plus, and I wanted to kind of get everyone's input on this. So, without further delay, we'll get into it. We'll get into it in a second here. Let me just I always don't remember the name of my own fucking show, like never. Okay, so welcome to the International and Gaming Show, right? So this is what we're going to be discussing today, which is the PlayStation Plus road to dominance, man. This is an ode to the PlayStation Plus. I'm not a subscription fan though, but real gotta recognize real, and what Sony's been doing. I think Sony has one of the best. I think they have the best subscription service, period. Whether it be Spotify, whether it be Netflix or Hulu, it's just flat out. That's a stinger, man. I know a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear that shit, but hear me out though. PlayStation Plus, what it does is it loops into itself. The type of ecosystem that it promotes makes you even stronger of a gamer. They don't just throw things on there and hope that you see it or have a recommended page or anything of that nature. What they're doing, which I haven't seen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is they're building some sort of a community. Almost like a Costco, so to speak, right? There's a communion there rather than just having service, which is online. And I post into the spaces as well some of the things that they offer, right? I'll go directly to the premium because that's the thing. We got monthly games. We got the online exclusivity, our online multiplayer. We have the discounts that you get. And some of these discounts are deeply cut. They're very Steam-esque, some of these discounts, right? They introduced cloud gaming. Cloud storage, excuse me. There's share play. Me and Ken, that's in here. Dubug, we've actually helped each other. He helped me more so by him picking up the controller and helping me out with certain things. And I believe that's free with just basic PlayStation network shit. You know what I'm saying? They have integrated game help. Yeah, you can go on YouTube and stuff like that, but some of the things where you can pin your trophies onto the side, and then you can kind of check mark it so you can increase your trophy system. And let's talk about the trophy system too. That's a pretty fucking sick thing. we're not talking about like the credit card. I mean, like, like points and stuff like that, but just there's a sense of achievement that the achievement system on Xbox wasn't able to accomplish. There's something, instead of numbers, there's a tangible reward that you get. And it's easy to kind of tell people essentially what you got. If I say I platinum the game, I 100% it. Period. There's no, I got 12,000 points for this or whatever the case is. Like, what is the equivalent of completing a game on Xbox 100%? Like, how would you tell that to somebody?
On the Xbox, usually you just honestly, I don't even know what they call it, man, but it's usually when you max out your achievements. As far as I know, there's not like an actual term for it. You just kind of get all of the achievements and you get, all of the achievement points or whatever. There's not like some Xbox trophy or something like that. You know what I mean? Not like a platinum trophy where it's like definitive, like I got a platinum trophy. You know what I mean? As far as I know.
I don't remember it either. And if anybody knows, you can kind of jump in and kind of tell me, because I don't know necessarily what's going on. But that's part of the community. You sit there and you're like, yo, I just platted the game. Everybody knows off rip what a platinum is. That means you thoroughly enjoyed that shit. And it's indicative of, not 100%, but it's indicative of how you operate when it comes to being a gamer. You know what I mean? You put a lot of, one thing's for sure, you put a lot of time in gaming. Either it's going to tell that you put a lot of time in gaming, or it's going to tell that you like that game a lot. That's the two types of people that you got. You know what I'm saying? And they encourage you to platinum games because you get specific awards. But not even that. There's the actual, screen. What do you call it again when you screen share? I can't think of this shit for the life of me.
I think it's just screen share. It's part of the share play feature.
Yeah, it's part of the share play feature when you want to request the share screen. So me and Ken, usually when we go on PSN, we're always using it to some degree. Like usually, it's funny because it's like sometimes it's almost like playing handheld. You know what I mean? Where like me being an advanced gamer, meaning that I've been gaming for a long time. You sit there and you're like, you can have both of your friends play different types of games. You know what I'm saying? And you can still be chilling with your friends without having to be involved in each other's games. So he'll say, "Oh fuck, they fucking ruined me." And the screen to be on a lower right, for me personally, would be on the lower right hand side of the screen, so I can see what he's doing. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And likewise, if I want to share something with Dubug, I'm like, yo, look at this bullshit, yo. I told you this shit was extremely fucking hard to do, yo. Look at the shit that they're throwing at me. Like for instance, Guilty Gear. I'll sit there and I'll show him like what's the bullshit, the fuckery, what's going on in Guilty Gear. And it's all wrapped up in the network service. You know what I mean? So there's some three elements to it, right? And then there's also some stuff that you essentially you pay for. Most of the times it's the discounts. It's the, how they have things structured. So with that being said, me and Ken already talked about this shit earlier. Why you? What do you have to say about this shit?
So, what is the question again, my friend? Like, what is really going on? Like what's bothering you?
Nothing's bothering these spaces. I go to Ken. Ken, what do you have to say about this? How do you feel about what? Why do you feel about what I'm saying?
You mean about what? Just PlayStation Plus in general?
Mm-hmm. My whole stance is that I feel like PlayStation Plus is the best subscription service.
Oh, okay. Let me add on to that. My bad, Ken. Okay, I just didn't understand the question. So, reason why, in my opinion, PlayStation Plus is, I ain't gonna say somewhat, but it is a good subscription service due to the fact that we actually get games, like literally games that's coming from our ecosystem. Recently, you guys just heard Sackboy is coming to PlayStation Plus. After when I had got that on launch, and that was 3 years ago, And with the fact that even though I'm kind of iffy on, the PS Now, even though I'm sure they don't have that no more, but they have this streaming cloud,
It's built into
the premium
the
tier.
the premium ones. Yeah, so it's basically PlayStation Plus still.
So what bothered me the most on that end is that there's games that people wants to play without having to use the internet to play the game, but they decide to go that route, which I have no clue why. Like especially Sly Cooper. That's
Because the incentive is for you to subscribe to a
okay,
service.
but if you
That what you're saying right now is the equivalent of complaining about Spotify and not being available offline.
no, but you gotta understand that's Sony's first party IP. Why would you make that where you can cloud it? So that's the only thing that slightly bothered me. But overall, why I think it's good because we actually do get games, and in the games that we actually play, that's from PlayStation Plus, are 90% AAA and then AA. If you guys understand what I'm saying. So like,
Well, my okay. So what service is okay? So I'm going to say this again. Well, let me come back to you. I'm gonna swing around and come back to you on this one, so you can get a little bit of clarity
no, I
before I
understand the
ask
question.
Ken.
I understand.
I don't, but you're answering it in such a way where it's not answering the question. It's more like a grievance for it. So I'll rephrase it again. I'll come back to you because Freddie normally doesn't talk about this. Freddie, what you got to say about this? My take here is the PlayStation.
Wait. What are we talking about?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
PlayStation Plus, to me, is the best subscription service. Period.
Oh boy, I disagree with that.
Now, the reason why I say this, I'm not even a subscription guy. So my reasoning is, this is my reasoning why I think this. So it's one of those argue with your mom type situations. Like, I'm going to say this. I feel like they provide top quality services more consistently than anything that I've experienced. The frequency of which these games or content is displayed is very frequent. It's not just in-house content; it's other things that it ties it ties together. It also isn't just throwing you content for you to just consume. It's creating a network or a community with each other, such as the PlayStation Plus and things of that nature. I'm sorry, such as the trophies and whatnot, and your game help and all the other things that comes along with the cloud saves and stuff like that. And we'll talk about what I believe is going to be projected. But for now, I want to say that. So that's my take on it. So you say I don't believe it. Why not? And what's better?
The only thing I don't agree with the PlayStation is that they're charging too much for that nostalgic experience, like how they hiding PS 3 games and PS3 games behind the premium. That's the only part I don't like about the whole service.
Well, PlayStation 3 can't be emulated. You got to rebuild that from scratch. You can't really, like, even computers can't really you can't emulate PS3 like that for the stupid mistakes that they've done in the past. Even if you weren't worried about nostalgia, they still present, like, for instance, last month they had Forbidden West. Forbidden West, it was a top game last year, and it's one of the best looking games ever created. And it's one of the best playing. Now, if you're enticed by it or not, that's your particular preference. I'm not one to argue about that.
Like for me, I subscribed to premium for like a month or so, just to play like Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank. Well, I don't understand. Why do I have to subscribe to the highest package to play those old games?
Well, because
that's the only part I don't like.
They're getting fixed up a lot of the times. Like, for instance, King can attest to this as well. They got trophy support, and they didn't have it prior to.
I have
So that's
noticed that though. Yeah, they do have.
so my whole thing is
Okay.
this. Then my question to you is this: what's better?
I just feel that it would be better if they had
No, no,
it
no, no, no. My
into
question
one package
specifically,
instead of
my,
split into three
but
packages.
some people don't want everything at once. You know, I work for a cable company, and people do not want that. I promise you, they don't. They want choice. Some people are not interested in nostalgia. They're interested in just the online, and that's fine. Some people are going to want a bigger variety or newer games. They can get the what's the next tier up from Essentials?
It's extra and then
The
premium.
extra.
Extra.
They could do the extra, and then there's the premium. So whatever your flavor is, if you were going in there looking for looking for like kind of like older games to be refreshed, that is something that Sony needs to work on. But my question to you is, what's better in terms of the overall content and how it's distributed? Yes.
Well, I think extra is good,
No,
but
I mean like what service beyond PlayStation is better?
oh, I don't subscribe to the other one. I only subscribe to PlayStation right now.
Knowing your gaming, knowing gaming. If you're big on gaming, which one is better?
Which one is
What
better?
service? What service is better?
I would say, I would personally say that the plus, no, not the plus, that the Game Pass is better because it has one paid model. You don't have to subscribe to different tiers. You can just subscribe to that one tier and you get everything that's offered.
Yeah, but the problem here is that everything is offered, but then they don't have that much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of it, especially, I might be talking about Metacritic, just consumer ratings are low.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say if they put everything into extra and got rid of essentials and just have extra as one, you know, as everything extra, I think that would be good if it
I
had one
still
plan.
think because it's
That's my
cheaper to
personal
have
opinion.
because it's cheaper to have premium than it is for Game Pass, actually. So if you want
Are you
to
talking about
compare it,
annually?
annually is cheaper.
Oh, it is.
Well, it's so monthly for premium is a little bit more expensive than Xbox Ultimate. It's only by a couple.
$3, right?
Yeah, it's like $2 or $3 more. The monthly, no, I'm sorry, the 3 month version that they have for premium is cheaper than Game Pass, and the annual version for premium is cheaper than Game Pass.
Oh, it is?
Which,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Game Pass doesn't offer that kind of pricing. So Game Pass Ultimate, the only pricing option that they have directly, because a lot of people, they always come in, they're, oh, you could do some kind of workaround and go, get a card. I don't fucking know. They just come up with some crazy workaround.
They took away all them workarounds. That's it.
Wait, so how much is premium? Wait, how much is Xbox if I were to get it for 12 months? Because from what I'm looking at right now, the PlayStation Premium,
180.
Oh, it is. Oh, shit.
Yeah, for
I guess premium is cheaper.
For Xbox Game
premium,
Pass,
right? Yes.
Yeah, it's $180 a year.
Because when I'm looking at premium, it's 120 right now for a year.
And we want to get into the quality of the shit too. So I'm gonna go to YU. Hopefully that kind of explain where I was going at. What do you guys say about that?
He's not in here anymore.
Maybe he fell out.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I'm mostly a PC gamer instead of PlayStation.
Let me see where he's at. Let me see.
Yeah, because you were talking when you were talking earlier, man. He dropped out and I don't know. He just never came back. So
it's possible he got kind of ticked off at me. I want to kind of keep. I have to level out everything. I can't have it all over the place. These things take too long. All right. So that being said, Ken, what you guys say about all this? We're gonna keep it moving.
I've talked ad nauseum about this whole thing with the subscription services, man. But I think, and this is my take on it, man. I think overall, right? Because I think each service kind of has their strengths and their weaknesses. I think overall, right? If you're just looking at the objective value, right, that you get with PlayStation Plus, I think it offers the most value for the dollar that you're spending. You know what I mean? Now, within that conversation, you have a lot of different people who kind of say, a lot of different things, and there's a lot of subjectivity to it, because you were asking like which other service is there. Obviously you're referring to more than likely Game Pass, right? Which is kind of like the topic of discussion.
Or Nintendo, really, anyone.
No, I don't think.
I don't think Nintendo really offers anything on the lines of like PlayStation and Xbox, though.
Oh, yeah, because as a matter of fact, as far as I know, all of Nintendo's content that they have for their service is mostly, their older content. And their service is cheap. It's only like $20 a year, So, I mean, when you talk about Game Pass Ultimate and you talk about PlayStation Plus, they kind of offer a little bit more, from like their cloud services and all that stuff, their monthly games and the reward system and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, yeah, that my take on it is that, like if you just kind of step back and you kind of like take your own subjectivity out of the situation, right? And you just kind of look at the overall package and what they offer, the pricing options that they have, the amount of games that they have, all of that shit, right? I think PlayStation Plus just offers the most objective value, I mean, it has the most amount of games, and a lot of people will say, oh, half those games you can only stream. I'm like, well, that's something that they can work on for sure. It's not perfect, but overall, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't take away from the fact that the game is still available in the service. You know what I'm saying? And PlayStation Plus is addressed, right? Because a lot of people were complaining about PlayStation, especially at the beginning of the generation, right? They were complaining about how PlayStation didn't have a service that can combat other competition and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, they revamped the service that they have and they addressed a lot of the issues that were kind of presented at the time, and that being obviously the tiered system that they have now, the fact that they didn't have day and date titles and stuff like that, they didn't have a reward system in place at the time and all that type of shit, right? And a lot of that stuff has been addressed, so they're not offering like, and this is like a point of contention for a lot of people, man, because it's like, oh, they don't offer, Sony's day and date first party games. I'm like, well, you got to also remember, man, PlayStation Plus isn't aiming to do the same thing that Game Pass is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Game Pass is trying to like, they're trying to use Game Pass as like their main way of consuming their content. You know what I mean? PlayStation Plus is supplementary to the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation ecosystem in general. You know what I mean? So their incentive is not to drop all of their games day and date into the service. You know what I mean? But for people who do want to, take part in games that are new that come into the service, they do have that as well, and they've had plenty of it recently. So, I mean, for people who want to get day and date games, they do have that as an option. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said, like the other guy was saying, Freddie, I think, right? They have 3 different tiers, right? Which will give you different pricing options and different options just in general for whoever, like for whatever preference you want. You know what I'm saying? Like just from essential to extra, which is I think 400 games or whatever, and all the other benefits, right? The monthly titles, and then you get premium, which you get all the extra shit on top of that, the game trials and all that shit. So it's like, I mean, if you just kind of look at it objectively, and take out your like, oh, they don't have day and date first party games, and or whatever other little bullshit thing that they, a lot of people say. It's like, objectively, it has more value. And it's cheaper because it has, like I said, more pricing options than what Game Pass offers directly. So I mean, I can get...
Wait, because here's the thing, because I want to kind of focus here, because again, before I let Freddie go, let me go to Showan. Showan, what's good?
What's up, y'all, man? Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Yeah, I still don't never think these comparisons are fair, because Game Pass and PlayStation Plus aren't the same. How come we never talk about PlayStation Now? We act like it's the kid that we got from the mistress that don't exist, you sneak out on the weekend and you sneak the PlayStation Now house or something. Like, why isn't it never pound for pound? Like, PlayStation Plus,
because PlayStation Now doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, technically, PlayStation Now is PlayStation Premium.
Okay, so I get it, but it's still not apples to apples. Like, I think we as gamers, we look at both sides of a fence and we want everyone to do their business the same, and then we'll compare it. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with PlayStation Plus, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with like Game Pass. Like, you can't say one offers more value than the other. I could say, yo, I need that PlayStation Plus Premium because I never played like Horizon Forbidden West. And then at the same time, no one could sit there and be like, Xbox is lacking, because you know what? We can say what we want about video and stuff, but none of us play Hellblade 2. None of us are going to play Starfield. We haven't played those yet. So they both offer their pros and cons. I just think comparing them and wanting them to be the same in some kind of way, I think that's kind of whack.
Hold on. Let me say this, because I'm gonna let everybody, because I'm gonna explain what you're saying. Game Tight, what you gotta say about this? And then I'm gonna say something and then let Freddie go. Game Tight, what you gotta say? It's goody, man.
I actually think PS Plus offers the best value as well, because people never really talk about this anymore. Like the PS Plus games that you are already getting like monthly, you're getting that on top of the service. So like the kind of games that they give you every month, like those 3 games that you get to add to your library and actually get to keep, like people never really bring that up anymore, because if you look at, like, for example, the Xbox, I think it's games with gold, them games are trash. Like, they might as well get rid of that. It's kind of pointless at this point.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they might as well just get rid of it, because the games that they offer on there is like hella lackluster.
Well, here's the thing. Before we hold on, wait, hold on. So, hold your thought. The reason why I say what I say about PlayStation Plus is because they are, and this goes to Showan. So the situation with PlayStation Plus and any other subscription services, at the end of the day, it's all about what that service is providing to me. That's all it is about. And if you want to keep it a buck, YouTube Music and Spotify, right? They're competing with each other because it's music. You know what I'm saying? So they deliver in different ways, but at the end of the day, the content is music. It's just kind of like slightly different, delivery methods. If you're going to get a service specifically for games, then there is bar none. That is it when it comes to games. The PlayStation Plus service is the best service, period. It has the best games, highly rated games, and we're not even talking about Metacritic. We're talking about consumer reviews. Highest rated games, highest Metacritic rated games, most features. It also caters to gamers. It's not just throwing anything at you. It also is developer friendly as well. It put fucking Fall Guys on a map, Stray on a fucking map, Fortnite on a map. It put a lot of these games on the fucking map. And they make sure that the quality is up there. If you compare it and make it apples to apples, Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, then you gotta look at, what am I using the service for?
All right, I get it.
And if you're a gamer, you want to play games on there, or get discounts for games, or anything relegated to gaming. It was very recently that Microsoft decided to allow free-to-play games to be without the service, which that damaged a lot of developers' relationships with Microsoft. Because if the game was free to play, I still got to pay you guys to be on the platform. They have a very nice interface as well to help you to explore other areas or explore other games and stuff like that. And Sony promotes these little guys. The Stray was huge when it came out. Seafood was huge when it came out. It's just one of those situations where if you're not getting monetary value, you're definitely getting eyes on it. And if you are looking as a gamer for games, you're going to get it, and you're going to get a high quality game. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did you buy Horizon Forbidden West day one?
Yep.
What did it benefit you when it dropped in PlayStation Plus?
You said what did it benefit?
What did it like?
So
you,
are you
like,
specific?
You tagged it, but like, what did it benefit you?
For that I'm just saying in general. For that specific game, no, it didn't benefit me at all. But you know what did though? Control. Stray did.
Yeah, but Control was in Game Pass forever. See what I mean? That's what I say. We keep comparing when neither one of these businesses and their structures are doing nothing wrong.
Well, it is doing something wrong if you don't provide enough content.
Like, how often do you scroll through Game Pass? Because I scroll through PlayStation Plus, and they're both amazing. But how often do you scroll through Game Pass? Like to not use it enough and then dog it. Like I said, I can't tell you all about PlayStation Plus compared to y'all, but I don't dog it because what I see in PlayStation Plus is amazing. See, I can step back and look at both of them for what they are and just be like, yo, this is actually
so. But I'm taking my feelings out of it, right? And the type of games that are presented in Game Pass do not review highly with their users. The user reviews are pretty low.
Okay, check this out.
So regardless of what you think I should be perceiving Game Pass as, the majority people don't like what Game Pass has to offer.
Yeah, why does the subscription service
they've been given?
Why do the subs keep? If you don't like something, there's no way you're going to stick with it. Why do the subs keep going up?
Wait, stop. The subs were going up because they were giving it to people for $1, and if it did go up, but the truth of the matter is it didn't go up. That's why you don't hear no numbers about the sales. They did not go up.
You don't hear about
what is that?
You don't hear about the sales because they don't want to talk about. Like when they made Phil talk about
why would they? Why they talk about any other thing? How come this one is blocked out? How come this one is redacted?
When the sales were going up, even when the pandemic and after the pandemic, the sales continued to go up. And Phil said he hated that. Because you know what it does? It makes us talk about it how we are now. He hated it.
That's not.
It is. He said it in the interview.
See, the thing about Phil Spencer is that he double talks a lot. He double talks
they all?
a lot.
They all?
He'll
don't Jim do it too?
Not.
They all do it.
No,
I mean,
not really.
Not really. You believe in generations or no? Like it's all double talk. They get paid.
No, wait. Hold on. Break it. Hold on. Bring it down.
Yo,
because I'm gonna tell you this, right? But hold on. Wait. Hold on. The thing about it is, I'm gonna let you talk. Game tight. When it comes to Jim Ryan saying that I believe in generations, what does that mean to you exactly? What does that mean to you?
Yo, there's a hard cutoff line between
No. That's a question. What does that mean to you to say?
It don't matter. I don't get paid millions.
We believe. Hey, but you just brought you brought that comment into this. So I'm asking you the question: what does that mean to you? Since you think that that's double talk, what does that mean exactly?
It gives you.
So what does it mean?
It means a corporate CEO say, "Yo, I'm gonna put a line in the sand that differentiates this from that."
No, forget about the CEO. What does we believe in generations as it's phrasing? What does that mean to you?
Yo, a break in the line is a break. It's a hard break.
No, the language is clear. I believe in generations.
Exactly.
I believe in generations.
A generation is a cutoff.
All right, but what does that entail? But what does that entail?
Yo, it means severing from your past. You moved on, especially in video games.
No. It does not mean that at all. It doesn't mean that at all. You interpret it. You want it to mean that. It doesn't mean that at all.
Let me clear something up about this whole that I'm so tired of people bringing that quote up. If you read what that man says, when you read the whole thing, he's not referring to cutting off the PlayStation 4 generation. He's referring to next generation features. He's not referring to PlayStation no longer making games for the PS4 and them just cutting off the last generation and going into the next generation. That's not what he said, but people are taking it out of context instead of actually reading what he said.
You can do that because you can do that. You can do that for anything. And even if you take it out of context, say we believe in generations. To me, that means that I'm supporting both generations. I'm supporting the generations.
Bro, when he said that, he was referring to like the features within the controller and on the system. It had nothing to do with saying we're gonna focus on PS5 only and we're just gonna leave the PS4 generation behind. What generation of console has ever done that?
Okay,
Zero.
so here's a better way, and we dogged them for it. Matt Booty and Phil Spencer. Hey, we're supporting Xbox One and Xbox Series S and X. Straight up, there is no jargon in it. That is a straight up, and we knocked the crap out of them for it. Why Jim Ryan didn't just say it in those same exact words? Hey, we're supporting both. Because you know what sounds better?
He did say that.
You know what sounds better? You know what sounds better? We believe in generation.
I don't.
It sounds smooth.
It doesn't matter. Look. You literally took a piece of that shit and ran with it. There was a whole article, and just because you misread the headlines, that's your fault. Gosh. He mentioned about the support. What's up?
You know what it is.
What generation has ever? What console?
No, but he mentioned. Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on, Ken. Hold on, Ken. He mentioned. Hold on, Ken. He mentioned that in terms, what differentiates the generation was the haptic, the controller, the ray tracing, and the fast loading, which isn't abandoned. That was added on. As a matter of fact, the entire generation as a whole hasn't really moved over to just current generation anyway. But regardless of the matter, the question was always brought. What makes a next generation game? And nobody was ever able to answer that fucking question, ever. Even if he stopped supporting the PlayStation 4, what difference would it make? Because you don't know what the difference between PS4 and PS5 is. No one was able to tell you that.
Hey, the only thing that Sony fucked up on where they kind of switched on their words is when they said that GT7 was going to be a PS5 exclusive. Other than that, they never said that God of War was going to be everybody knew that God of War Ragnarok was going to be on PS4 as well because they started development on PS4. Same with Horizon.
Yeah, see, this is kind of why, this is why I don't really like arguing with people online about this shit anymore.
They don't be doing their research, man. They just going with the flow of what everybody else be saying. They don't actually look at what people actually be saying.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. Like, what a lot of times what will happen, and I think this happens across the board. I don't think this is just with people who are like more Xbox centric or whatever, right? I think what happens is a lot of times people will see, like the headline of whatever's going on and whatever's, being said in the media, and they'll kind of like go off of what people are saying in general, instead of like actually going in and reading and kind of like really trying to understand and interpret what the people are actually trying to say. You know what I mean? Because I could tell you right now, man, when that information came out, right, a lot of people, there were a shit ton of people, right? A shit ton of like Xbox like centric people, right, who made a bunch of content, man, and who completely misinterpreted that quote that he did. And guess what? It spread like wildfire, man. And you had a bunch of people who were just like, oh, Jim Ryan was lying because he, he believes in generation. It's just a whole bunch of shit.
And then Ken, when you tried to bring it up, they refused to listen. Oh, you just take
or they refused to go read it.
They wouldn't look for themselves. They wouldn't read it.
This is everyone's problem. Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan are the two of the same people at the same sides of the coin. We just like to say one is doing it more than the other, or the other one did it first. They the same exact person. They just say the same. You're putting words.
You're putting words.
They are the same.
You're putting words in my mouth, and most of the panel that's in here, they're not the same person. So I'm going to say that they're not the same person. You know why? Because the games that they're producing, they're coming out in frequent clips. Where are your games? On Game
one
Pass.
Has talent. Just because one got more talent than the other,
no,
they're still
I'm
the same
asking
person.
The question. Where are the games? That's all I care about. I don't give a fuck about his love life. I don't care what he prefers. Where the fuck are my games? That's all I care about. And listen, bro, where is your games? Where is it?
Hey, they there. Hey, jump on Game Pass. There's games.
We're not talking. No. I'm not saying there's games. I'm talking about games that are. I'm not going to buy a $500 fucking console to play some. What was that game? Hi-Fi fucking Rush that I could play on a Switch. I want something to use my fucking console. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that.
Let me kind of double back it here, man, because a lot of people, right? They kind of perceive value, right? Okay, so let me start like this. It seems like everybody has their own definition of what value is. You know what I mean? And this is why Yeah, and this is why you hear a lot of people always say like, "Oh, Game Pass is the best value in gaming," right? But it's like, well, what exactly does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, what does value actually mean? And it's like, well, a lot of people, when they interpret what value is, they always kind of defect to like, oh, value is like, well, it's a new game in the service, right? And that is essentially alone one of the biggest reasons why that offers more value. And I'm like, well, it kind of depends, and this is kind of like where the conversation gets a little bit more nuanced, because it's like it can mean that it's more value, but you have to remember, man, like at that point there is a bit of subjectivity to it. It's like, well, just because the game came into the service day and date and it's new doesn't mean that more people are going to want to play the game just because it's new. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could have a game, like I'll give you an example, right? The Last of Us, right, has been topping the charts recently, right, because of the TV show, right? I mean, all of them have been selling. Like the part one, the remaster, part two, whatever, right? All of them have been selling a shit ton, right? And that's because it's relevant, right? It's relevant because of the TV show. And that is like that in itself, right, is giving that game more value and giving the service more value and the platform more value because it is a relevant game. Now, is it new? No, it's not a new game, right? But I'll tell you this right now, I guarantee you, like, if you compare, like, say, whatever, just some little bullshit game that went into Game Pass, right? That a lot of people you see on Twitter, like, oh my God, we just played this game, we just got this new game in Game Pass, versus, The Last of Us, which is like a relevant topic right now, right? What do you think most people would choose? Like, let's be honest, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with games.
Let me say this, right? Because I'm gonna tell you this, right? Here's where this is where people become disingenuous because they're playing with what they like in terms of console brand. I'm not trying to shit on Microsoft at all, but I will say this: like I said with Nintendo, want better out of your platform. Want better out of anything that you get. Don't just be accepting the slop that these corporations are going to do. Like I said before, I don't care what the fuck the man looks like, what his politics are. Bring me the fucking games. That's the only fucking thing I care about. And he's bringing it to me in frequent clips. If you want to sit there and talk semantics, how about this? If somebody offered you a can of fucking baked beans every hour, versus somebody that had a whole fucking steak meal every 4 hours. I'm taking that steak every 4 hours.
Why don't we just all switch to PC?
No, you know why? So why? So I could have fucked up patches all fucking day? Absolutely not. I'm not spending the money for no PC shit. My point for buying the console,
$1,000, no big deal.
I can tell you right now, my reasoning for buying console, I have enough money to pick up a fucking to buy a $3,000-$4,000 computer. I had a friend.
I'd rather spend $600 on a new parts for my computer than the damn Xbox, though.
I have a friend. He sat there and tried to show me Returnal, like I was going to be blown away by that shit. So you have a higher anisotropy filtering. Okay. If I'm paying $2,000 for clearer textures at acute angles, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not fucking with settings. I'm not fucking with Windows. Not because of Microsoft. They pet that every time I'll leave for a fucking weekend and come back from vacation, and it's 19 fucking updates where I can't touch my fucking computer at all for about 30 fucking minutes. And I don't have a weak computer either. And I can't deal with that. I don't like Windows. Windows also is very susceptible for viruses. I don't have any time for that shit. They're lucky they're getting this streaming going on. But going back to the PlayStation, I would rather have that steak 4 times a day versus baked beans every fucking hour because it's cheaper. I'm not going to sit there. I want quality shit. I want my face melted when I turn on my $500 PlayStation versus some fucking Hi-Fi Watch, which is a rhythm fucking game, or a Pentiment. I'm not paying $500 for Pentiment. I'm not. I could have stuck with the Xbox One and kept it the fuck moving, or a PC.
Yo, I couldn't believe it, yo. Like when Pentiment dropped and everybody was like, "Oh my god, it got an 86 on Metacritic." I was like, and that's like, I was like, yo, that's why I don't even like, listen to this Metacritic shit, man. Because if you guys are really hyping up Pentiment, bro, like I can't even. Yo, it was so bad, right? There were some people who came out and they were like, "Yo, Pentiment was really popular, right? Because a lot of people were watching the game, but just not that many people played the game." I'm like, bro, that's the whole fucking point. You're supposed to want to play the game. Like people are not playing the game; they're watching the game. That does not attribute to a game being successful, man. You know what I mean? But
it doesn't.
I mean,
none of these reviews. That's why I say user reviews, because I already know the rhetoric around Twitter gaming spaces. I'm not going to throw around Metacritic. I'm talking about user reviews. And to be honest with you, like I said before, some of the games, even if you take out all third-party games, PlayStation Plus is still a fucking force to be reckoned with, which we're going to talk about as well. And listen, I'll repeat myself. I am not trying to shit on Xbox at all. But just like I said with Nintendo and that Zelda, Tears of the DLC, you need to do better.
Hey, if you're talking,
yeah, you're right about that. That's some fucking DLC bullshit, and they're gonna sell it for $70 damn.
That shit was so disrespectful. Not only am I going to reuse 70 plus assets of the previous game, I'm going to charge you $70 fucking dollars.
$70 fucking dollars,
and not a peep was fucking heard. When Sony did that shit, when Sony did that shit with these next generation games, see, look. When they moved from PlayStation 4 to 5, it should have been expected that the games were going to go up because the technology went up. We weren't playing games at 60 and 120 frames a second, nor with ray tracing and VRR or this new controller or any of these fucking things. They were marked improvement because it was better technology. So you would expect, because it's a newer hardware that's utilizing that new hardware, is going to be more money. Nintendo is the same 7-year-old fucking console, Switch, tablet, thing you want to call it. They're using the same fucking engine, the same hardware, and then they had the audacity to charge you $70 fucking dollars, and you clap? That's what you do? Do better. Want more. Like I said, I'm not shitting on that game. The least they could have done is make a different island or whatever, a different Hyrule or somewhere the fuck else. That's the least they could have done. I would have shut the fuck up. But no, I'm not going to pieces of rock and a fake ass great value fucking Elden Ring tree on a fucking rock of this floating above Hyrule Island or whatever the fuck it is. That's what they gave you. And attaching sticks.
I'm still gonna buy that shit though. Because they got me. They done got my ass about it. Because shit,
I'm just saying.
All they really did was fill the skybox with freaking shit.
I couldn't believe I saw that skybox.
I was so mad and willing to give them my money at the same time.
I saw that skybox. I mean, I saw that fucking Elden Ring tree, that great value Elden Ring that you try to do, but the Switch couldn't do it real good. I saw that yellow tree right in the sky, right? It was like, look at that tree. It's golden. Let's check it. I saw that
shit.
I said, is that Elden Ring inspired?
My thing about Zelda, right, is, and not to get off topic about this or whatever, right? But thing is that I don't really have a problem with the game. You know what I'm saying? Not the game itself. What I have a problem with, right, is when people will prop this game up, right? And mind you, I am a Zelda fucking fanboy, yo. That is one of my favorite franchises ever, period.
Hit confirm.
For real, I am. Like, it is. I'm not even joking. I have a video on my YouTube channel right now that says, well, believe it is. Whatever. Argue with my problem is not.
You're breaking up, man.
Yo, my issue is not the game, right? My issue is that people are propping up the fact that they did the bare fucking minimum, right, to change the game from what the other game was founded on, right? And then in the same breath, right, shit on games like God of War and games like Horizon for not, quote unquote, not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? When in all aspects, bro, like if you objectively just stand back and look at those games, I'm like, yo, them games were updated and overhauled completely, bro. You know what I'm saying? They changed a lot of shit. And it's like, well, they didn't do enough to catch.
God of War was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like, fucking A, that game is huge.
Hey, Ken,
it's actually kind of too much.
Hey, Ken, now that you said
It
that,
kind of is. It was like,
hey,
if I want to go from one island to the other, fucking by running or something, it's gonna take me for like fucking 4 hours.
hey, Ken, now that you said that about the about the Horizon games, that how the people was talking about how they changed, it got the same score. When that Tears of the Kingdom game comes out, if it doesn't get below what the original did, I'm gonna really know what's up because
Look, man.
look,
Let me ask you a question.
watch it get the same score, bro, and then I'm gonna be like, well, what was the difference for like between the last one that which y'all couldn't give, Horizon? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look, let me ask
to
you.
me that doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna ask you a question, right? Let's say, right, in Tears of the Kingdom, right, instead of you having a glider, right, you had a bird that you could fly on. You know what I'm saying? You could call that motherfucker whenever you wanted, right? And you could fly over the map, right? Instead of you just floating on the water, right? You could dive and you can go underwater and you could, explore caves and all that shit, right? What if they gave you a whole new revamped combat system? You know what I'm saying? And you could, whatever. You had a bunch of skill trees and a bunch of combos you could do and shit like that, right? What if they did all of that shit to the game, right? And they updated the graphics and all that stuff, right? And they gave you all that stuff that you could play with in the game, right? Tell me, right, that most people would not look at that game and say, yo, they massively fucking updated that game, and this is a massive jump from the first one.
Exactly.
Now, look, listen. The reason why I say that specifically, right, is because when you look at Horizon Zero Dawn, right, from Horizon Forbidden West, all of that shit is what they did with the game. All of it. They did all that shit. They added underwater exploration. They added free climbing. They added a fucking flying mount. They revamped the combat system. They updated the graphics. They gave you a new story. They gave you a whole new fucking place to...
Tons of new weapons.
New weapons. All that shit. I'm like, yo, son, you can't tell me, bro, that they didn't do enough to change the fucking game. That's not what the problem is, man. The problem is that people just... I don't know. I mean, I have my own reasons for why I think it is, but it's not because the game isn't a better game. You know what I'm saying? It's just not true.
Hey, all I know is if that motherfucking Tears of the Kingdom gets the same score or above, I'm gonna have words, man. Because
that shit's already game of the year before it even fucking comes out, regardless of how it comes out.
Yeah, but that's what
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right. But that's what I'm saying though. You can't tell me that this game is gonna bring that much more improvement. Okay, let's say it even does. You're gonna give it flowers for doing that, but don't give other games flowers for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that's weird.
Well, let me say this. I'm gonna go back to look, and again, I'm not trying to shit on any other game. I'm gonna go back to the quality of what PlayStation Plus offers, and then I'm gonna talk about the future. What I believe is their roadmap. Me and Ken's been talking about this for a good while, and if you look at the collection here, if you wanted to talk about PlayStation Plus. I have never been a fan of Battlefield. I mean, we could talk about third party, right? Right. So they have for this month Battlefield 2042. I haven't played that. Curtis, a shout out to Microsoft for allowing Minecraft Dungeons, Code Vein. In my collection, I wasn't going to buy Crash Bandicoot. If you never picked up God of War and you got swept up in the hype of God of War Ragnarok, you can. They had PlayStation. They had God of War for PlayStation Plus. If you Mortal Kombat, they had Monster Hunter World, the Resident Evil 7. I had that, and I'm going to play that shit too to catch up on it. And
they have all of them pretty much, don't they? Like Resident Evil. I own all of them, but yeah, they like you want to play Resident Evil and get caught up. Like, oh, I never got into that series. Like, it's fucking all there for you. The brand new one.
The reason why, and the list goes on, the reason why I say that they create a synergy and they create an environment for gamers, right, is because you know that the Resident Evils are coming out at a reasonable clip, a regular clip. If you have PlayStation Plus, you just do it for online, then you could, on your downtime, catch up on Resident Evil. So you could be all caught up. See y'all as a family, you know what I'm saying? You could do that. The same thing if Days Gone. You didn't play that and you were on the fence because of the shitty reviews, you could pick that right the fuck up, and that's Sony in-house.
I don't give a fuck.
It was fiery. They had Detroit. They had Detroit Become Human. If you didn't pick that up, you could pick that shit up. If the Second Son, they make sure, and they don't put the pressure of day and date on you. You know, you get the FOMO situation, right? Where you're like, I gotta play it. they allow you to digest your games, right? It's just the high quality. These are not indie games that you could play on like a PC or something like that. These are like low. These are like full on fucking games. I picked up Dirt 5. Even so, still, I picked up Dirt 5. So you could test up the VRR and stuff like that. That was new, and that's just the entry level. If you wanted to do what was it, the essentials? What was the other one? The middle tier? Extra.
That's with like 500 games for $40 more a year.
Yeah,
and that shit's coming with like 10 extra games a month. And what I'm happy about is regular plus. Like, I thought when they were starting this tier shit, they were gonna turn into games with gold. Like, oh, if you want anything worth the shit, you got to get that extra premium. Fucking the plus regular essential, that's gonna turn into a big pile of dog shit like gold did, and it's gotten better, and it was already pretty damn good.
That's what I said earlier. Nobody ever brings that up.
Like, no, it's like every month you get three or four games, good games for 60. You can get that shit on sale for like $45, and you're getting 45 games a goddamn year that you can put into your library and play anytime you want. 5 years from now, 7 years from now, like, you know what I'm saying?
Claim that ain't you. And if that ain't you, they give you discounts. Some of these shits are 70% off. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in the plus. Some of this shit is crazy. 70, 80% off. They give you a nice little text message. Hey, buddy, you want to check the store real quick because we got some fiery shit. Just letting you know. They make sure that you want to play games and they're not just throwing out fucking the little engine that could or power washing or anything of that nature.
Yo, shout out to Fatal. Yo, that motherfucker be playing all them little games, bro.
Fatal play Barbie Adventure. He don't fuck around. Like, he'll beat that shit too.
Yo, you could talk shit about Fatal all you want, man, but that dude plays his game.
Yeah, he plays everything, dude. That's where I go if I want to see the completion rating on a game of some bullshit nobody played on Game Pass. I go to his shit because he beat it.
Hey, I'm scrolling through the PS Plus thing right now. And if we just talking about just first party games alone, bro, it's not even close. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's not even just first party, because Michael. I hate the fact that the guy left or whatever. But it is what it is. How you gonna say it's not? How you gonna say it's not fair?
Catalog they got on here is crazy, bro.
How you gonna say it's not fair to compare the two?
Like, if you got premium,
what do you mean?
The last 2 months, there's been like 17 games. I'm like, how the fuck?
No, but the whole point is, how you gonna say it's not fair to compare services that allow you to rent games?
Yo, Josh. See, because I wanted to address it because the whole thing kind of went off the rails when you guys started talking, man. But he said that why are we comparing PlayStation Plus to Game Pass and stuff like that? And he was like, yo, it's not fair. It's not apples to apples is what he said. It's not a fair comparison, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, they're not the same services and they're not going for the same exact goal, but you can't say that they're not comparable. You know what I mean? And it's funny, right? It's funny because this whole thing about not being compared, like them not
Plus
being
Essential has been giving out games fucking day and date for like years too, though.
Hold on a second, Nelson, because the thing is, right, is that like this whole thing about PlayStation Plus and Game Pass not being compared, right, happened after like a lot of people started realizing that PlayStation Plus actually they were on to something with this fucking tiered system. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you have access to whatever the monthly and the basic shit for essentials. You have your
options. It's options. If you're on a budget, you can just get the basic, and you got games to play all the time that you can just add. Forever. The shit from 5 years ago I added, I ain't played yet.
Yeah, I'm just saying, right? Like when
you may not have been in here, right? This was the crazy thing, right? You may not have been in there. The guy says that it's cheaper to have Game Pass.
No, it's 100 a year gets you like 600, 500, 600 games. And then in the essentials, you get to keep.
100.
So shit, I claimed from 2014, I can go back and play right now.
Well, there's some games that was on. I mean, I can't really count the backwards compatibility. So I'm going to start with PS4 and shit like that. But it's funny how ill-informed a lot of people are when it comes to PlayStation Plus. If you want to be in your own bubble, then you won't have to know shit. That's the funny thing. You don't gotta know a damn thing. So the rhetoric when you keep yourself, well, hold on. The rhetoric when you keep yourself in a bubble is that everything's fine inside of this bubble. This is the cheapest. This is the best place to play. This is the best place. If you keep yourself in that bubble, the second someone challenges people, this is what happens. They drop off. They don't want to discuss it anymore.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, right? Because when the generation started, right? You know, when both consoles launched and all that shit, right? Xbox launched with Game Pass. You know, the Xbox Series X launched with Game Pass, right? Day one, right? And the PS5 had what it had, right? A lot of people were making a comparison between the Xbox Game Pass and the PS5. Like you could say that that's not a apples for apples comparison, but yo, when you got online and you logged in the fucking Twitter, yo, that's all you heard people talking about. Like, yo, why doesn't
all the time they kept comparing it over and over?
Yeah, it's like, why doesn't PlayStation have, you know, a Game Pass, you know, a competitor, whatever the case, right? And it's like,
they
okay,
had the first. PS Now was first.
Well, okay,
first.
whatever.
No,
yeah, whatever. But here's the thing, right? Because they keep saying that, but anyway, let me just finish my thought real quick. I'll let you say what you're going to say, right? A lot of people were making this unfair comparison between Game Pass and the PS5, and they were, you know, complaining about how PS5 didn't have a competitor, right, to Game Pass. And it's like, okay, right, that's a valid criticism. I'll say, cool, right? Maybe they do need something, but it is what it is. Now, fast forward where they revamped their thing, right, where they added the tiered system, and they have essential, extra, premium, and all that shit, right? Now nobody wants to fucking compare it. You know why?
No, they're scared.
No, because when you do like just an objective comparison between what both services offer, PlayStation Plus, if you just take your own subjectivity out of it, step back and look at what both of the services are offering from a pricing standpoint, from just a pure value, you know, the quality of the game, whatever, the amount of games and all that shit, it's like PlayStation Plus just objectively
has to the library.
It destroys it.
It has more. Yeah, and the thing is that, you know, it has essentially, like, fundamentally, right? Because a lot of people like to debate semantics and shit. I'm like, well, from a fundamental standpoint, they offer essentially the same shit. You know, from all the cloud capabilities to the legacy titles to the fucking day and date shit. You know, they even have like the game trials and shit like that. You know what I mean? The rewards.
Remote play. Trials are really, really nice because at least demos suck because once you play the demo and you go buy the game, then you got to start the game over. At least with the trial, you try the game for an hour. I like this game. You buy the game, you start there. You get the trophies and everything. Like, you just continue on with the fucking game.
Yeah, but that's my thing, man, because, you know, you're hearing a lot of people say that shit now. It's like, oh, you know, it's not an apples for apples comparison. I'm like, well, that didn't stop
it was before. You used to say that our shit sucked after we told you this ain't the same thing. We've been trying to tell you this shit for a while. They say the same thing. Oh, it should be the same thing. No, it is, actually, because they both deliver games. So you have Mr. Man coming up in here talking about it's not the same thing. Talking about, this is why I phrase my questioning very specifically, and when I say things, I'm very specific. This is not my first rodeo. I don't want to use Metacritic. I said the user reviews said that it's better, and that's true. Pound for pound, number one, we got more games on PlayStation Plus. Number two, we have higher rated games, user base on PlayStation Plus, and they're more frequent. It's just way more, right? It's just way more. It's just a better service, period. The only thing that they have is day and date. That's the only differentiating factor in price. So you're paying more for day and date, but the problem here is to get out. It sounds great, but there's only one problem. You need games. You need content. What's the use of having day and date if you're releasing fucking Pentiments on your look? It could be a great game. That could be your cup of tea. That could be your wave and you're in your lane. The problem here is, why did you get an Xbox Series X? What was the point?
I've been hearing a lot of people say, right, you know, well, Game Pass isn't factoring in, you know, games with gold and Xbox Live and all this shit, right? Because if they did that, then their subscriber count would jump up and, you know, you would see like the true number essentially, right? And I'm like, well, that's not our fault that Microsoft didn't fucking include that shit into their service, you know, because a lot of people were saying, look, I'm gonna go back, because at the beginning of the generation, right, everybody was dogging PlayStation for not having a service at all, period, point blank. They didn't have one, period, right, aside from PlayStation Now and whatever it offered, right? And now that they fucking revamped the shit, right, they essentially took what Microsoft did and made their own version, and I would even say made it better. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can't come and say that you can't compare the shit now, right? Because they went and they made their own version and they made a better version. You know what I'm saying? Like now at this point, it's like, yo, Microsoft needs to they need to step their shit up, man. It's like,
that's
dude,
that's all I'm saying. You want to know something else? Here's a little secret. PlayStation Plus has day-and-date games. Oh shit. It really is the better service. But
yeah,
if we're talking about
they've been doing it for a while too.
They've been doing it for a while. They've been doing it for a good while, and they do it specifically, right, to highlight some people that may not be able to get their game off the ground, such as Stray or Sifu or Fall Guys. Fall Guys was so promoted. This is what happens. They're not just throwing your shit out in the wild.
Rocket League too. Rocket League came to PlayStation Plus day one.
And they slaughtered.
Huge.
And the thing, that was one of the first things that was big. Now here's the thing, right? What Microsoft would do is just throw the games out and say it's available. What PlayStation will do is they will advertise that game because it's beneficial to the service. It shows the worth of the service, right? When Fall Guys was released on PlayStation Plus for free, or was it for free, Ken?
Well, okay. So with Fall Guys, I think it came to PlayStation Plus like a month after it launched.
But it was free. Okay, it crippled the servers to the point where PC people couldn't even play that shit. The influx of players trying this game out. He even had Shuhei Yoshida playing that shit with his daughter. It crushed it. That's the advertisement. He's a real gamer. I have never seen Phil Spencer play no fucking game ever.
He plays a lot
Not
of
a game
too.
Well, I can't see that shit. He don't promote that shit. Where? When did we see it?
I mean, I've seen Phil Spencer playing some shit, man. I mean, but
he don't promote. He don't promote.
Did you see him playing the Initiative game like 3 years ago? That game was fire.
Right. Yeah, but it's besides the point, man. Because a lot of people they try to make it seem like the executive friends and shit like that. I'm because I don't give a fuck about that shit, man.
No, but I'm just saying that the executive usually, and I won't say Jim Ryan, he is not a gamer. I'll tell you one thing, and we're about to jump into that shit because now we talked about the quality. Yep. And that's what it is.
Something real quick.
You're breaking up, man. You're breaking up.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to say something really quick, man. Just a fun little fact, right? About, PlayStation Plus and Game Pass, right? In comparison, right? So PlayStation Plus, obviously they don't have as many day-and-date games, but right, if you look at the ones that they did release, right, from Fall Guys wasn't like exactly day and date, but it was close enough, right? So Fall Guys was there, right? And then they had Stray that came out, and then there was another game, right? This game called Deep Rock Galactic. I don't know if you guys know anything about that shit, right? But the interesting thing is, right, all of those games, as soon as they hit PlayStation Plus, they did fucking numbers. I mean, like, yo, Fall Guys went off, like, that shit became a mainstream thing when it hit PlayStation Plus. It started there. Not started, but, it kind of, like, got a big boost off of PlayStation Plus, you know what I mean? And that's when you started seeing a lot of fucking people playing that shit, right? Because after the PC guys got it or whatever, right? If you look at Stray, right, that shit was a mainstream fucking game when it came out on PlayStation Plus, right? Now, this thing about Deep Rock Galactic, right? That shit came out in Game Pass like a year ago, right? And that's the interesting thing, right? Because it just launched in PlayStation Plus, like, I don't know, maybe like a month or so ago. And immediately, yo, as soon as that motherfucker hit PlayStation Plus, they got over 8 million people immediately. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, it begs the question. It's like, well, why is that? Why is it that, PlayStation Plus is able to grab so many people, right? And with the same fucking game that was in Game Pass for a whole year, right? And I think it has a lot to do with the whole PlayStation Plus doesn't focus as much on date, so a lot of the games that come into the service has a fucking spotlight, so they're able to like shit and really give that lane. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna say this. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, right? Firstly,
yeah, you breaking up, so you gotta shorten your shit.
All right, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. And conversely, right? In the same amount of time, right, that PlayStation Plus had all those games that went viral, right? There were like 3 or 4 games that failed in Game Pass. I'm not saying that they're succeed, but I'm just saying, you that there's a propensity with the model for certain, just not fucking.
You gonna have to jiggle something.
You turn it into you need to
I've been trying
plug
to
that
tell
shit into
him
the wall.
Can you guys hear me? Yo,
nigga want to be the most long-winded and have the most fucked up internet.
Anyway, man, that I don't know. I don't know the last thing I say, but
you were talking about how a game failed on Game Pass, but it's not indicative.
Yeah. What I was saying is that I don't think Game Pass. I think there were games that were successful in Game Pass, obviously, right? But what I'm saying is that in the same amount of on PlayStation, the same amount of games that fucking failed in Game Pass, and I think that's the Pass has a propensity to fucking cannibalize the games that are in the service. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to PlayStation Plus, because they focus so heavily on day and date. It's like it's inevitable, man. You're gonna have games that are just not gonna get as much attention as some other games when you have so many fucking games that are dropping day and date into the service. You know, and it might not even have anything to do with the fucking quality. It's just the way the model is set up.
So here's the thing, right? When it comes to PlayStation, because this is what I want to say about what I think Sony is doing, and you'd be definitely a part of this conversation for sure. The way that Game Pass trains the person is that I don't buy nothing. Wait for it to drop on Xbox or on Game Pass, so you won't waste your money. It encourages you not to buy shit. Which
I quit buying totally. I used to buy a lot on Xbox. I don't buy shit no more.
Which the funny thing is, right, is a flat out lie from Phil Spencer. He knew the stats, and he said what he said anyway. He claimed that it encourages people to buy games. And the complete opposite was going on. What Kim was talking about, it cannibalizes things. It for one, it wants you to hop onto the next game and the next game and the next game. You know what I mean? Without even really like digesting what you have and what you see. That's what it
download. You spend more time. Most people spend more time downloading the games than playing them.
People are treating this shit like Costco. When they used to do the whole samples. They'd be like, I try that. I try that. You would never buy shit. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is trying the samples. You don't really want to play the game. You just want to try things out. It doesn't encourage you to. I don't know why it does this, but it doesn't encourage you to actually complete a game. And maybe it's because it's all about finances, and less about being games. With the PlayStation, this is the genius behind PlayStation Plus. If you do use game trials, and the game is on the game trials, you keep the trophies, which gives you more of an incentive to actually, if you do buy it, buy the game and then complete it. There's just so many things that went on to PlayStation Plus in terms of making people feel connected to being a gamer. Everything that it does is it wants you to be a gamer. That's what it wants you to be. Not just somebody that spends money, but they want you to be a gamer because it's stickier. It's stickier to want to be a gamer versus you looking for a fucking discount or deal. How many times that we have these conversations where people say that they buy Game Pass because they want to save money? Nigga, what? You got a PC? Yes. I got a PS5 too. Then what money were you actually saving? Because you're not getting day and date for Call of Duty, not yet anyway, for any of those games. So what money are you saving? Well, I've tried Pentiment, and that was a good game. What was that game, Ken? It looks nasty. It's like a first-person shooter or first-person game. and everybody was talking about scoring. Tried that. That was pretty good. I tried this. That was pretty good. Okay. So, and did you finish it? No. Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about then? They don't have any incentive.
It's a 7-hour game. You didn't finish it. It's been out for 6 months. You're not gonna like.
Some of them, it's not even 7 hours. Some of them is shorter than that, and they still didn't finish it.
See, that's what I was talking about with that whole value thing, man. Because people have their own version of value, and it's like, well, because it's new, it gives the service more value, and it's like, well, not necessarily, man. Because if it's like a little shitty ass, little bullshit ass game like Scorn, like nobody's gonna want to fucking play it. Like let's just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna add as much value to your service than what you really think it is, because in your bubble, you think it does. But in reality, it doesn't.
They don't want. They don't want to come out their bubble. I'm gonna read some stuff that I see on YouTube. So thank you, Thrifty, for posting your shit. He says, "Yo, what up, dude? PlayStation Plus is on another level. It is the perfect design subscription service, which I believe that is too. The only downside is the premium is weak. It is.
It's gotten better the last few months, but the first 6 months
it's the weakest link though. Like it's the weakest link out of the 3 tiers. It is weak due to the fact that the PlayStation titles being lacking. Also PS3 not being emulated natively is a huge L. I wish, because they're releasing the fucking PS1 and 2 games and PSP games slow as shit. So you might as well take some of that time and start emulating them, finding an emulator to play PS3.
Hey, I'll say this: I feel like all that'll eventually come, but like once they start adding like more like, especially like PS2 and like PS3 games natively, like if they can get PS3 games natively, I think that shit right there is just gonna take it over the top. Bro.
Now I heard.
I do think they're still trying to though. Like,
yeah, I heard there's lots of rumors stating that they are looking for an emulator for. Also, I am sub to premium. Yeah, a lot of people sub because they thought that it was going to be different when they bought it. So you're just waiting it out. So I heard that they're coming up with an emulator. They're still working on it. That's what I heard.
Hey, listen,
I heard there's a lot of those like PS3 emulator dudes that worked on like the PC versions. Some of them have actually been hired by Sony too.
Hey, listen.
Yo, who said listen? Yo, it was good.
Dude, yeah, so I think you're trying to reach me. My bad, I was taking a shower after work. But yeah, to answer that earlier question, so you think PlayStation Plus is the best subscription ever that you ever subscribed to, right?
Yeah.
So there's a 50-50. And I think I already said it, but I'm going to repeat it again, to where I don't like the fact that I have to stream Sly Cooper or any type of first-party games that were on PS2, and now you're able to play it.
It's PS3 games.
And PS3 game as well, too.
It's just PS3 games that you have to stream. All the other games you can play natively.
Yeah, but Sly Cooper, that's a PS2 game, not a PS3.
That's a PS3 game. The ones that they have on the service is a PS3
the one on the service though, they might do the PS2 later, but those are PS3. That's the remastered collection or whatever.
They don't have the PS2 version.
So why is it that they can't take the time to make it where we don't have to stream cloud that game? A lot of people miss Sly Cooper. Nobody don't want to keep on playing.
Well, it's because the PS3 is not easy to emulate.
It's not that simple, man. I wish it was.
Yeah, that's why I've been trying to stay. I've been trying to
but a lot of the games run like shit.
Hold on. I've been trying to explain that you can't. PCs can't do it.
Man, fuck the PC.
They can't do it well.
At least not
they can, but a lot of the games do not run good.
No, you're saying fuck the PC. I get it. Look, they don't run well. It just goes to show you can't even brute force it. Someone has to go in and manually do things, and that costs a lot of fucking money.
Hey,
it's
not
like a billion.
So why was it okay for Jack and Daxter collection? We don't have to stream that game.
Jack and Daxter's a PS3 game,
the Jack and Daxter one that you got.
Yeah.
One that doesn't work that great.
It's the PS4
like the PS2, but no.
It's the PS4
hold on. The Jack and Daxter's, those games, they're PS2 games.
Same thing with Sly.
Yeah, but the one on the service are PS4 ports.
I get what you guys saying. The Sly Cooper are the PS3 remaster, but it was a PS2 game before it got remastered. Why they're not putting?
No, I know you're saying to get the PS2 one and put it on there. I guess because of trophies, it's probably the easiest way for them to get the trophy support on there instead of like trying to inject it into the old games. That's what I would surmise is what's going on.
Understandable. All right, I get that part. But
because they want us to me personally, fuck them trophies. But start putting them shits on there and patch that shit in later.
Okay. So I respect that. So now the other 50, which is on the good side, the reason why I like it, because they're not putting their AAA first party game day and date to where people can actually buy the game, have the experience when you grind to go get that game, instead of just, relying on a subscription service to have it on that particular service. And then it's like you want Sony to make that money from that hardware. Gorillas, you got Santa Monica, you have Band Studios, you have Naughty Dog. The list goes on, man. Sony has one of the best studios in gaming right now. I don't care even if Microsoft was to acquire Activision. Sony has the best cinematic studios of all fucking time. And they do not have to have us, how can I say this? Well, let me put it like this. Sometimes their first party games do go on PlayStation Plus. Sometimes. We still haven't seen Spider-Man, which that's a good thing. Just go buy the fucking game. They put all that hard work for us to play that game, to go buy the game, to have the experience of what they did to make that particular game. That's why I fuck with PlayStation Plus.
So there's a calculation there. Let me read the YouTube chat. So 12 months for $120 a year, that's $10 a month. Such a good deal. I agree with this dude. Just buy the emulator from one of the developers that already has made it. And yes, Sly Cooper is a PS3 game. The separate core design of PS3 make it freaking hard to emulate the PS3. It got re-released on the PS4 as a port. I need other people to chat to talk with. It's just gonna be this for now until I get bigger. He says, say it loud for the people in the back. Fuck them trophies. And he says, day and date kills developers and delays the games and stuff like that. So yeah, here's the thing, right?
So he said day and date kills the game?
Day and date kills developers and delays the game releases of major AAA games. Day and date is amazing for smaller studios. But that's why they're not doing it. But here's the thing. There is hold on. There's a calculation. Only the first few months the game is going to get most of its sales. So that's why Sony is like, fuck that day and date. Now for the smaller studios like Stray, and people were really on the fence about it, they'll either buy the subscription and then get, and then those developers will get their money that way.
Now, just
what I'm saying. So there's stuff like that.
Now, and see, and that's the argument that that I'm glad you brought this up, because I just want, and for the ones that's listening right now, whoever is listening to it right now, you guys have to understand. If y'all really think day and date is the best way of gaming, you guys don't know shit about business. You guys need to go to a university college and study business. Because if I was a developer and someone wants me to put my games on their subscription and I'm only getting $15 a month, well, not technically $15 a month, but if that subscription service, whoever owns that subscription service is getting $15 a month, you got me fucked up. I need my cut.
Well,
and then on top,
let me say something really.
On top of that, just imagine when these 10 live service games come out on PS Plus, bro. Oh shit, man! Y'all can't even imagine how phenomenal PlayStation is gonna be.
So this is how I see it, right? Because a lot of people
remember your ass need to consolidate before you start clipping out.
I will. I'm not gonna take too long. God damn. I
don't really care, but you keep clipping out at the end of what you be saying sometimes. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, my bad, man. But no, here's the thing, right? Because people keep saying that Game Pass kills the developers and shit like that. I don't think it's that simple. You know what I'm saying? I think Game Pass is essentially like a double-edged sword, right? Because it doesn't benefit everybody. It really doesn't. But it benefits some people, right? So and you kind of touched on that. Like if you're a small developer, if you really have that many people, Game Pass is gonna for you, man, because you have a lot of people that you get your eyes on your game and shit like that. If you're a AAA developer, it's not gonna be beneficial you, man, because you put too much money into your title to drop it into a fucking service.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I like that you said that.
And the more subscribers, the more money you're gonna want.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
No, I mean that's pretty much it, man. It's like it's a double-edged sword, man. Like, I don't think it necessarily kills developers. I think it depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the nature of the way the service is designed. Because you've seen developers, some of them really well, man. But like I said, a lot of the developers that did well, they were small. They were indie. They didn't have like all of the resources and shit like that, man.
Okay.
They were just getting. You know what I'm saying?
I like that you
bigger
said
one's
that.
not the case.
I like that you enlightened me on that because someone said a similar thing about that, but he used Trek to Yomi as a comparison to Ghost of Tsushima. You cannot compare Trek to Yomi. Trek to Yomi, I don't know if it's an indie game, but I know it's not. I know it's not a AAA. I know for a fact it's not a AAA or AA. To me, it's an indie game. To me,
yeah, it is an indie game.
Okay, so basically, Game Pass is very beneficial when it comes to indie games. And even this lady had told me this because there's this game that you actually have to subscribe to Game Pass in order to play. You cannot get it anywhere else but Game Pass. So Game Pass can have 2% of credit that, yes, it's good for indie games. But when it comes to AAA, AA, third party, no.
Well, let me tell you this, right? Because Game Pass is great for, like smaller games, indie games, and some AA games, right? And cool, that is what it is, right? If you like that, Game Pass is perfect for you because that's what they have. That's the majority of the content that they have, right? Now, when it comes to AAA, they don't really have that many AAA games in the service unless, it's kind of like another game or right, it's a game that came from their first party studios, right? Now, the problem is that a lot of their first party games are not, and I know there's subjectivity to this shit, man, but I would say like the vast majority of people, man, they don't care about those fucking games, man. That's not the type of...
Okay, so I see that you're a advocate on Game Pass, which I respect.
No. Look, man, I'm not that much of an advocate for Game Pass like that, to be perfectly honest with you, man. But I'm just saying,
really subscription services either, honestly.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying from what I've been seeing, right, and my understanding of it, right, it just is what it is, man. Like, Game Pass is great for AA, indie games, that type of shit, man. AAA game, not so much. Unless it's coming from their first party studios. But for the most part, I'm saying.
So I like that you're saying that, and that's why I said I respect it. But do you think? How can I say this?
Somebody's mic is fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know why it's echoing. All right, so I'm good. Okay. So anyhow, don't you think it would have been better if they were to put AAA exclusivity to their ecosystem with Game Pass? Like, for example.
That's what they claim. That's what they wanted to do in the first place. The problem here is, for God knows what reason, they have studios. They just don't. They're not making the studios. They're not making any games, so they're relying on third party and small games. We don't know why they're doing that. They have the studios and don't put the games out at all. It's not being released retail or anywhere. Well, it would be nice. It would make the most sense because that's what they said. They said that the lore is day and date. That's what everybody was clamoring over. But we haven't really received their AAA games day and date either. You know what I'm saying?
And also on top of that, the mentality that he has with his next craft, he wants to release it to us with 70% of the game being done. You guys know
that's the reason why. The reason why he says this is because it's not feasible to make a AAA game and then place it day and date, and you just paying $15. Like one game, maybe like Call of Duty, that would have worked if it was just a small developer or a small publisher, such as Activision, where they could do it. And even Activision ain't doing that shit.
But see,
they know better. You make more money if people are paying for that shit annually $70. You make more money that way. So it's a dumbass model, basically.
So that's my issue with Xbox. Because, like, how is it that Sony are able to make these AAA games, but Microsoft can't? And they have
that's what we've been saying for the longest. Nobody knows. Like the guy that came here earlier, and he was talking about some. Oh well, this is unfair comparison, and they have games, and I asked the question, and he never answered. Where are your AAA? Where are your first party games that are big, that are like, I'm not talking about big in terms of budget. I'm talking about like long games, like 40 hours, and whatever the case is, and high quality. Like you're a $2 billion company.
Zero. They out there
like
crying.
you have what do you call that game? Forza, Horizon 5, right? And the concept of Forza is the same as it always been. You just have a different locale. You know what I'm saying? What do you call it? Halo, it was a fucking disaster. It wasn't even a complete game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not releasing complete games, and then you want that money. Like if you want that money, you can't sit there and release mediocre shit and then want top tier dollars for it.
But
I wanted to.
But instead.
Hold on, wait. Let him talk. Wait. Who said that?
That was me, man. Now I was gonna say I wanted to answer your question because you were like, well, why don't they put AAA games on their more AAA games on their service? It's like, well, the thing is that this is the thing, man, because they have to rely either on third party or their first party, right? And it's been a pretty well known thing that their first party has not been like the most consistent. You know what I'm saying? So they've been relying pretty heavily on third party, right? That are AAA developers don't see the value in putting their games in Game Pass for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You get some stragglers here and there, but you know what I'm saying? Across the board, it's like, yeah, putting their game into the
Microsoft. Microsoft would have to actually spend billions of dollars to put that shit day and date to compensate for the amount of money they would lose for people getting the Game Pass service other than buying it directly.
Okay, so hold on right there. So why can't they do both? You already see Sony's doing that. And then on top of that, the reason why they struggle to come out with a first party game, because they're out there going and buying publisher when the game's already going to their platform. That's the issue with Microsoft. They can't stay consistent when making AAA games.
All right, I don't know. You were breaking up before, but I heard what you were saying. So here's the thing.
So basically, this is what I said. So basically, why is it that Sony can't do both? No, Microsoft can't do both.
Because they never.
No. I'm gonna finish.
But why are you answering? Why are you asking a rhetorical question?
How's it rhetorical?
Because you know the answer.
Well,
but let me get to the point. The main reason is because they out there buying publishers instead of just focusing on that particular studio that they're currently working on, that future first party game, knowing that you already got people on them.
You know what, man?
Because
hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Wait, hold on, because I want to go to the last part of what I want to say anyway. First and foremost, before I let Jerk talk, right? Microsoft never had their heart into the gaming industry. What they were trying to do is disrupt Sony because they could potentially take people away from Windows with their consoles. That was the only real reason of joining the fucking service. They don't want to invest a lot of money in there because they anticipate if it gets rough, they can cut that shit off. That's why they're not the gaming sector.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was one of the things that
they're super notorious for when shit hits the fan, they cut that shit right the fuck off. And if you buy and invest mad money into something, then you have to give everybody pink slips and severance pay and shit like that. They'll get a whole bunch of contractors, and they'll be happy with that. And I don't know how they were able to do this for the last 22 years. To just trick everybody into thinking that they were all in. That's why I'm talking about Microsoft. That's why they never really bought publishers until recently, because that luck ran out. And I'm not publishers. Well, yeah, publishers and developers. And even when they bought the developers, They were making games in regular clips, right? And all of a sudden, when they got bought by Microsoft, they stopped making. There's no output. You know what I'm saying? So at first, I was wondering maybe they're making something hot fire. No, they're not making hot fire. And I know now that Microsoft is literally managing them. So that means that this is deliberate mismanagement. Just like the Redfall, when they were chipping away at making the game multi-platform, they came in there and said, "Do not make that shit for PlayStation. Whatever you're doing, stop. It needs to go out on Game Pass, PC, and Xbox." So they're definitely managing. They're just not good. Their intention is to not have their foot into their jerk. What you got to say?
Okay. So one thing with that. Let me let Jerk go. It's, I think a lot of. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
A lot of things. Microsoft has a bad rap, and that's something that's hard to get over. Even if they come out with something that's hot, us on Twitter are kind of not the make up the majority of things. So they have even they put something hot, they have so much kind of bad press and all these things. It's going to take a lot for them to get over that. You know what I mean? So I think part of why they're not putting their whole foot into it, because they really can't, because there's so much. Besides us on Twitter, Microsoft and the gaming thing is not really talked about like that. You know what I mean? One's talking about Halo, but then that shit died real quick.
It died when Call of Duty was popping off in 2009.
So
2009.
Exactly. So all the people that don't really play games, Last of Us, they can talk about because of the show, God of War, blah blah. You know what I mean? But what does Microsoft have? So it's like Sony, Rockstar, like Capcom to an extent. Those are the big ones. But when regular people think of Microsoft, what do they think of? Well, there's nothing. There's nothing.
That's why I'm buying games that you know.
Game Pass, right? Because they can't do it, and it takes a long time to build up a rapport and reputation, and they don't want to do it. They're fighting, kicking, and screaming, so they'd rather just buy somebody the fuck else so they can skip it, and you can't necessarily skip it. The problem here is that
and what you said earlier too, when they buy shit, they fuck it up. So this is another thing where I feel like they're going to buy it and fuck it up.
Can I say this right quick? I like that you said how Bethesda, whenever they made Redfall, and they were like, "Don't make this for PlayStation, this and that." So why is it coming from Phil Spencer's mouth that he wants everybody to have opportunity to play a game, but the fans?
He's a liar.
Because he didn't have no games. Once he got something somebody wants, then he's like, "Oh, we want it for us."
See, the thing about Phil Spencer, the thing about Phil Spencer is that nigga will say whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
That's what I don't understand. He keeps saying we want gamers to have choice and to play everywhere.
The choice is wherever we say.
Yeah, if that's the case, then why are certain games not on all platforms then? Like,
because he'll say whatever it takes.
Don't say it if you're not gonna do it.
Like, look, if you can lie to somebody, it's like an abusive relationship. You know, if the husband is cheating on the wife, listen, babe, I told you I'd do better. I didn't mean to do that. And the bitch, okay. And he does it again. She catches him in the act at the hotel. No, my bad, man, my bad. Listen, she came on me. I didn't do it. And they just going to continue to believe this lie over and over again until the wheels fall off. I can't help Xbox fans. I can't help them. And I'm not going to try to help them. The people want to live in a delusion where they're in their own little bubble, where they could it's their own little fantasy, it's their own little ecosystem, and they don't want to look out there. Mofos don't even want to step out to see what's good out there. They'd rather stay where they're at, and I can't help them. And I'm not trying to help them either. This space was exclusively about the ode to PlayStation Plus and how much this shit stomps on fucking Game Pass and any other fucking gaming service. I can officially say that shit. If I was brand new to PlayStation and coming from Xbox, this would be some hot fire shit.
You ain't got to buy a game for 10 years because you got a lot of catching up to do, boy.
I wouldn't even have to buy games at all.
You don't have to buy one game. All you have
unless I feel like FOMO. And not only that, the experience I have now, when we start to come out and PlayStation games are performing better. I can't help that. That's the numbers.
Well, see, that's the thing with PlayStation. You could get their exclusive and the third party run better. You know what I mean? So you got.
I don't know the numbers. I don't know why it's functioning like that. I don't know. All I know is that I can't alter the numbers. That is the reality. Even if they perform equally, I still got that DualSense. Everybody thought that DualSense was a fucking joke. There ain't no way.
It works on PS1 games. I'm playing it with PS1 games. I'm getting that's fucking dope.
Yeah, does haptic can emulate any vibration. The thing is, man, even if I'm going to get it as soon as I finish moving. I'm going to pick one up because
I got
tried it.
Controller, bro, you're not gonna want to use a regular.
No, I tried it, man. Ain't no way that shit is pinpoint accurate. I said, oh shit.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to use a regular.
But I'm like, I don't feel like carrying all this shit with me, and then I may damage the controller and fuck everything up. So I was like, let me get to my headquarters, and then I'll start ordering things like the VR or whatever the case is. But like going back to the controller or going back to the PlayStation, if I touched nothing, if I had no PlayStation ecosystem and just started, fucking 3D audio is built to fuck in this bitch. Built in. I don't have to pay nobody. It just works. I just plug in the controller. It just works. That's it. You know what I mean? The haptic feedback, the sticks. You get a more robust.
Share play is underrated. I'm sorry.
And then you got share play, right? Me and Ken always. He'll be playing Final Fantasy VII, and I'll be playing my little Horizon, like you always know I am going to be playing, right? And I'm just sitting there watching it, you know, just seeing what he's doing, and it just feels like we're actually in the same space. But I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember this shit, but there's been times where I would go to my friend's house. We both have Game Boys, right? And I'll have my particular game that I'm playing, and my friend would have their particular game that they're playing, and we'd just be talking and shit like that. And he'd be like, yo, look at this fucked up shit. And I'll look, and vice versa. All that shit in one fucking setting. That's just the PlayStation. And then the services has, like, if I were to have gotten PlayStation Plus and picked up Horizon Forbidden West, I wouldn't even have known what the fuck to do. Because not only do you have quality games, Horizon is the best looking game created on a console space. Period. This is why when I go and I post a screenshot or a video of Horizon, the Washington Post picked up my shit. The Washington Post. They don't talk about water physics in games. They talk about Trumps. I'm just saying, it looks so good, it transcends the gaming world. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing else. Here's where the conversation is. Am I on? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yo, wait. Who's? Oh, he fell out again. Shut up, Kerr. I say you put your thumb down. Kiss my ass. Here's what I want to talk about, right? This is the last little segment. I wanted this to be an hour. Of course, Ken, it ain't an hour. Why would it be? Every fucking time. But I'm going to shorten this up. So, where is Sony going to go from here? I thought about it, and I didn't understand what Sony was doing. But then you take a couple steps back and you start realizing the shit that they do is very deliberate. Point in case, Horizon is one of their flagship games, one of the best looking games ever created. Why the fuck would you put that on the service? Why would you do that? Why? And then I was like, well, maybe it's because of the Call of the Mountain. Maybe it's that. I was like, nah, because that's a peripheral. You know what I mean? I guess it could kind of boost the peripheral a little bit in the game, but like, that's still kind of reckless. And then they said something about the DLC, that you actually had to have the base game, right? And you had to complete the game at the minimum to get the DLC to work. And guess what Sony did? They put it on their fucking subscription service, meaning that you will have access to Horizon Forbidden West. But if you want the best looking game of all time to make your $500 purchase sing, you're going to need that $20 DLC, and you're going to have to buy it. And they're going to make sure that you get well acclimated into the game and learn its mechanics. That's why when they advertised Forbidden Frozen, the Burning Shores, they told you what you need to do. Get some climbing in, get some battle in, get used to the system. So You can hit the ground running when you play this game. I said, so I got to thinking to myself, is this the future of what they're doing? Are they going to start releasing smaller games day and date on this service? Whereas if you didn't want to play PlayStation Plus, you can buy it for $20, or you can just buy the subscription service and you can have your cake and eat it. This is why you was saying what he was saying. There's a best of both worlds out here. Your flagship games could be free. I mean, it could be normal. But what they're going to do with God of War Ragnarok, which is going to be, mark my words, I've been right. There's going to be an Atreus spinoff where you're just playing fucking Atreus and it's going to sell gangbusters. And guess where it's going to land? It's either going to be discounted or free for premium. Or you could pick that shit up for like $15 or $10 or whatever the fuck it is. And I feel like that's a good compromise where you're not fucking up a main game and people can actually have their cake and eat it, and it gives value to the service, because you're not going to have all these free games all over the place, because you still got to work with publishers. And what Sony's trying to do is kind of get away from that model where they have to do all these bargaining with third party. They have enough developers under their belt to actually have their own games on the service and have their own games be the premier games and really set a standard for gaming in general, like they always have been doing. This is why people don't like Sony, because it makes people work fucking harder. I had an old job, right? No one was able to sell. They used to say, see, what team do you have that sells this stuff? I come blame my black ass at this bitch, and I sold 5,000% over what they asked me to. Now everybody looking at me like, the corporate people are looking at me like, oh, this nigga is doing it. How come y'all can't do it? He's new here. So everybody's looking at me like, fuck this nigga. I don't know why he's able to do that shit. Now we gotta work hard. That's why people don't like Sony, because it makes them work hard. They want to release mediocre shit, and Sony would just stun on the motherfuckers. And this is why the discourse for Tears of the Kingdom is what it is now. People don't like that shit. I don't know why they don't like it. It's like they're afraid that if they fail, they fall hard. Ken, what you gotta say about this?
So I think this whole thing with PlayStation Plus, man, and what they're gonna go do going forward is interesting, man. And I think what they're going to do, man, is start implementing this live service shit into their service. And I don't think a lot of people even see that shit, man, because this is the thing about the services, right? I've been kind of like looking at it and researching it a little bit, right? There are certain games that are highly successful on services. You know what I mean? And like I said earlier, it usually tends to be, either smaller games, right? But this is what I didn't say. There are also the live service games are also games that are fucking really successful on services, right? And the reason why, right, is because they're not dependent on the sales, right? They're dependent on the engagement. You know what I'm saying? So like if you get a game that throws that live service game that's like high quality, like really high build, right? And you throw that shit into your service, right? That shit's going to get a lot of engagement. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think what Sony's going to do going forward, man, is they're going to start throwing their live service games into the service, right? To get not only give it value, right? But it's going to, if you're talking about competitors, they're going to blow that shit out the water, bro. And if you don't want to fucking actually subscribe to the service, you could just get it for a cheap price, man, on PSN or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's why I think their whole model with this live service shit, like, I think they're on to something, bro. Because PS Plus is really going to be like a big part of their thing, bro. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen.
Look, if people don't understand, and I'm going to ask you guys what you think about our idea, but people think that, Sony is abandoning PlayStation. Look at what they're doing. They keep releasing games on PC. But you stupid fucker, you don't understand what they're doing. If you look at what they're doing, right, is that they're building a catalog. Everybody and their mammy knows that fucking games on PC are free. But if you can trick the motherfuckers into buying or purchasing the subscription service, if they have a catalog, then you need content. And they're just building content. That's why they're not advertising it heavily. That's why they didn't advertise the VR, because they're managing their money. They don't want to advertise the shit and people can't afford it. and you have to go directly to Sony's website where they don't have to pay retailers or anything. So they get maximum fucking profits. People don't understand the moves that they're making. They're getting maximum fucking profits because they don't have to pay a retailer, but you have to go through them. And they only made so much because they don't want to over make shit. They're doing that shit digitally as well. And like what Kim was saying, I think that they're going to choose a hybrid method for people that are cheap. It's the problem with games as a service is that the developers and publishers don't quite know if they're going to make their money back. So they give the bare minimum, right? It's the bare minimum. And then when they start seeing that people are picking it up, then they start to add extra things. A la, what is that game called again? The game with the mechs that released on PS4?
Which one?
What the fuck was it? Warframe.
Warframe. Oh.
When people started playing that game, they started crazily updating that shit, right? So here's the thing, right? What if The Last of Us, and this is just an example. This is a thought experiment. It's like what Mark Cerny says. What if the way that The Last of Us factions work, it's still going to be an open world game, but the players in each faction are going to control the story. So you're going to have to do certain things in there and win within that week or a month. And whoever has the higher numbers, they get their story progressed. So if you really want to see your faction and everybody in there succeed, then everybody got to pull their weight so their storyline could basically go to the next. They're going to make their games as a service just like what you would see on some sort of show like, I don't know, Game of Thrones or something like that. And it's going to
You want that next episode. You want that next episode.
Hold on. You're going to basically, right, want to play the game so you could see the episodes, basically, like what Jeremy was saying. You're going to see the episodes. You want the storyline to progress because it's so good, right? And if your faction wins the most numbers, whatever it's asking you to do, if it's the highest amount, then you get to see your characters progress. If you lose, some people in your faction that you may like may die to the other factions. But the way that the game works, right, is that everybody, let's just say it's each faction, which is 4 factions, has 4 people in there, which is a co-op, right? And you guys have to fight each other to get whatever objectives it is in the open world whilst fighting these clickers and zombies and shit. So you're really going to have to plan your shit out. Cool. Now, how are you going to get Naughty Dog to make such a thing and put it on a fucking service for free? What if this costs $10 and the quality was just like what I described off the fucking bat? And all you gotta pay is $10.
Hey,
period.
Hey, y'all. My bad, man. I heard the whole thing what y'all was talking about. I was at the store because apparently the day I had got my PS5, I bought all the accessories because, I'm loyal to when it comes to buying a PlayStation console. And, that was actually my first console that I received day one. If you guys remember, people were struggling to get the PS5 because of the shortage. But, God bless me. So I went to go buy me a whole new charging station and a whole new remote because apparently when I loaned it to my brother because I was out doing something, apparently he lost the plug and then the remote's not working. So I was like, you know what, man? Fuck it, man. Let me just go buy me a whole new set. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I like how Sony is playing the game where we're not gonna put our games day and date, but you guys gonna receive it maybe a year or two. But the thing that baffled me when the PC guys were pissed about why these games are not being put day and date, and that's what made that guy announced that our exclusivity would not go day and date. It will probably release a year after, but our not multiplayer, but like our live service games will come day and date. You just think about it. If these PC clowns didn't, mention that bullshit, all these games ain't coming day and date, I'm pretty sure these games wouldn't have been coming a year after. Or
that's why they're not using the PS. That's why they're not using the PC as like a jump off, right? Let me say this so I can close this this thing out, because I really just wanted this shit to be an hour, and of course it was longer. Jerk Chicken, what do you got to say about what I was basically saying?
I think you're right about that. I think that'd be a good plan if they implement it, and I think they already have the kind of base to set that up. It's like I was saying before, they have that reputation thing. So like Ghost of Tsushima, right? Love that game. I know there's gonna be a part 2. You know what I mean? So I think with all this good, rapport they establish, they can do ideas like yours pretty easy because we know they're gonna come out with some fire. So I think you're right.
What about you, Game Type? What you gotta say about this?
Can I say something off it quick, man?
Yeah, go on. I'll just start with you.
Yeah. Repeat that question again. My bad. Oh. Repeat that question again.
No, I was just gonna say something off of what.
No, he's on the topic of what I was saying. What are you saying again?
Yeah, no, see that's like, I think what Jerk was saying, like, how, and what you're saying, how kind of like they might be able to throw their game into service like for a cheap price. I mean, think about it, man. They have like 45 or 46 million in the service. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I mentioned earlier, right? Those games that went into PlayStation Plus, they did numbers when they hit the service, man. It wasn't like a whole lot, but when they hit, they really fucking hit. You know what I'm saying? So like, really think about that shit, man. Think about a game like Naughty Dog and Factions, right? If they put that into the service, man, and they implement it, integrate it all like you're saying, yo, that could be a fucking hit, man. You're talking about the potential of reaching like millions of people immediately, and that's how the game thrives, man. You know what I'm saying? It thrives off of fucking engagement. You know what I'm saying? If you get that many people, yo, that is going to be an instant success. I mean, yo, Sony's calculated, bro. Like, people don't want to, like, they don't want to acknowledge this shit, man, but them motherfuckers is calculated, bro. They're not going to just jump into some shit, right, and not have some kind of solid plan behind it. Now, when it comes to this live service, yo, they got 40 fucking million people in the fucking service. Throw that shit in the service, bro. You know what I mean? You're going to get a lot of engagement, especially if it's good.
They already see that the most money that they're making is from games is from games as a service. They already know that. You know what I mean? Not games as a service, excuse me, for microtransactions. Game site, what you gotta say about this? Yo, game site, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, I pretty much agree with what y'all are saying, man. I ain't really got too much to add. You know, I do think.
Man, I'm tired of you agreeing. Stop that.
Hey, man, it's just, y'all pretty much say what I was pretty much was gonna say anyway. So, I don't think all their multiplayer and live service games is gonna go to PS Plus though.
Nah,
some of them will, some will be free, some won't. It just depends. So, I don't know. We'll see, man.
But it's a good thing to kind of release. I think some games are going to legitimately be free to play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like, if you're going to have something that's like that
deep. Yeah, here's the thing. Though. I'm not sure that Last of Us game is going to be free.
That's what what you think is not going to be free?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. If it's released for about $10 or $15, and you just have to pay one, and it gets updated all the time,
it's going to be a cost to some degree. I don't think it's going to be free to play though. I don't think they're going to do that.
That shit's going to deviate so hardcore from what they said that they were going to do. That shit going to be a whole different beast.
Yo, see, it's not going to be free, man. The thing is right, they're and this is why they're doing this. I think why they're doing this whole PC shit, man, because they're really trying to get those.
That's what they really want is the multiplayer base, because that's where PC spends their money. They'll just rip your shit, but you can't offer one and not the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So it's not going to be free, you know what I'm saying? So what they're probably going to do, right, is they're going to include it into PlayStation, like most people say, at no extra cost, right? And then for people who are in PSN, right, they get to get access to it for a cheap price, whether it's like, what, 10, $20, right? And it's the same for the PC guys. They get it for a cheap price because them motherfuckers always take advantage of Steam deals and shit like that, man. They do it all the fucking time, right? Now, if you get a game that looks good, like as fuck, like The Last of Us, you know what I'm saying, in Steam for $10-$20, yo, they're gonna buy it, bro. You know, and to like integrate all of that shit together, man. Yo, I'm telling you, I think that's a recipe for success, man. If they do it right.
You can't rip a live service either. You gotta they know what you doing at all times, so you can't just rip it and play it.
Here's a real question: do y'all think it's gonna be on PS4?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yes it will. Yes it will. Yes it will.
Okay.
I think that'll be the PlayStation.
It'd be the last. It'd be the thing, the swan song for PS4. But yeah.
Well, mind you, it may or may not, because you know.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, man.
Let me explain why though. Because now, as you see, people are able to go out and go get a PS5 if they want to. So I think what PlayStation trying to do with this faction, they're trying to focus on the next engine of developing the game. You know, they're not trying to focus on, oh, we need to hurry up and make not a backward, but you know what I'm saying, like how the Series S is holding back the whole generation. They're not trying to rely on the PS4, because even Phil Spencer even said this a while back, that now that PS5 is available, we should no longer be on PS4s anymore. So I think they're gonna focus on the PS5 version than the PS4. Let's be real.
Well, I think some of them will be, man. Like factions, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because The Last of Us Part 2 was already kind of like the architecture for the game was the PS4. It was started on the PS4, so maybe. You know what I'm saying? Other games like what Deviation's working on and London Studio and all that shit. A lot of those games or the ones that we know of, they're going to be PlayStation 5 exclusive, man.
I definitely think that Deviation one is going to be PS5 only.
No, they already said it. They already said it is.
It better be. That ain't coming out till probably 2025 or 2026, because that's early yet.
Yeah, that console, that'd be a dead ass console. So there's that. Yo, Jeremy, what you gotta say about what we had to say?
Yeah, I agree with all of it. I've been saying for the longest, people are like, oh, these games don't sell that well. Why are they putting it on a PC? Why do they put it on a PC? It's for the live service games. Because there's a lot of those motherfuckers, they won't buy games, but you know what they'll do? They'll pay $15 a month to play WoW. They'll fucking buy, you know what I mean? The Dodos and shit like that, they'll spend their whole fucking bank wad on that shit, though.
Them whales.
Yeah. Yep.
You better
that's what I don't understand about PC. They'll spend all that money on PC parts and won't buy no games.
I ain't buying no games. How much you spend on Fortnite? $2,500 this month?
I'm looking for a discount. Oh, y'all paying crazy shit online.
They got $5,000 PCs and shit.
They spend $1,000 on some of their favorite games of the live service games a year. Like, don't blink an eye.
Yep. Some of these people be doing the wildest shit, and that's why I say that shit is fake news.
Yeah, it's wild.
You know,
somebody getting chopped up here, chopped and screwed. But listen, guys, yo, I completely enjoyed this. I had no idea this show was going to mutate the way it is. But you were cutting out, so I'm not sure what you was going to say. Yeah, go on.
You know, and I want to this. Oh, can y'all hear me?
Now I can.
Hear me? Okay. So I like what I don't know what his name is, but he
Yeah, you break it up.
Mention how these games are on PlayStation.
Yeah,
when it comes to numbers. All right, can you? Hello?
You keep breaking up, bro.
Damn, come on! I hate driving this area.
All right, let me see here. All right, what about now? You good? Because I'm about to end the show.
All right. Now, yo.
Keep talking.
All right. So back to when I was saying how one of the guys, he mentioned how PlayStation has a good calculation strategy where they know whatever they're doing, whatever their plans are, is gonna like boost the numbers. But what seems odd to me is that why is it that a whole fan base are mad at the owner for doing his job.
I mean,
Like,
that comes with the territory, man. People want to cry about shit they don't like.
Like, shout out to him, Porter Wright. Like he said, if you want to play these games, you have to own that platform. If you want to go to Germany to fuck some Germany pussy, you got to go fly to fucking Germany. Like, let's be realistic, man. And excuse my language, I'm just being real. You know, like, all I'm asking for Microsoft to do is to compete with the studios you guys have, come up and create new IPs or revive these IPs, and then we can start seeing if there's really an actual competition. Because I'm sorry, but I just don't see Game Pass as a competition towards Sony exclusivity. I just don't.
It's not, and I think everybody kind of knows that at this point in time. Game Pass is absolutely not it.
And like, you go on a crowd of Congress because we're not putting Final Fantasy VII or any Final Fantasy game.
Well, he's doing his job. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, he definitely don't want. I mean, he's going to do his job, and he doesn't. He wants the deal to go through, so he's going to do whatever it takes.
You know what's funny about that? What's funny about that whole thing?
But I'm gonna let you say it right quick. I'm gonna let you say it. So it's like you're crying for these games, but you guys are not actually gonna buy the game. Those guys in Japan wants the money. They don't want these games on Game Pass, knowing they're not gonna get a nut from that. So yes, continue talking, my friend.
No, I was just gonna say about Phil complaining about the games being exclusive, like the Final Fantasies and stuff like that. Bro, exclusivity's been a thing since the beginning of like gaming. Like, I don't know why that's a talking point now. Like,
exactly.
That's so stupid. It wasn't like that in the 360 generation when they had all the fucking exclusives.
If you could spend $80 billion on studios, you could spend a couple billion on some motherfucking exclusives. You can get a whole bunch. Like you can get a whole bunch of exclusives for
bro, I remember the 360 era, bro. They motherfuckers had Mass Effect as an exclusive, Grand Theft Auto,
BioShock.
Like BioShock. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Like
Blue Dragon.
But it's not the fault. It's not the fault.
You didn't see Sony complaining about it to the fucking government. Like, come on, bro. Like,
but it's not the fault. It's not the fault of Xbox. It's the media that thinks that Microsoft should get a pass. I mean, or maybe they forgot.
Yeah.
Like, are you young?
Crazy to me, bro. Like, especially usually what happens is the whatever system that is getting the most success, like for example, the 360 was the more popular system during that time, right? So they got most of the deals, the exclusivity, such and forth. It happens like that every generation, bro. Like it's nothing has changed, bro. So for them to use that kind of talking point, bro, that shit is insane. That shit,
man. But you'd be surprised on how silly all of this shit is. All of it's silly. And they know it is. They're going to do whatever it takes to win the war or fight. That's what it is. I mean, this is nothing new. None of this is new. And I hate to say it, it just is what it is. But I think we've reached all of our talking points here. I wish it wasn't so damn long, but I've been I'm gonna have to split this video up in a couple of pieces. Let's see here.
I got one last thing, and then I'm done.
All right.
I was just gonna say with the PS3 emulation, I think one of the biggest reasons they don't want to put the money in, by the time they get a decent library of games ported over and going through all that work, I don't know if you've noticed, but especially the PS3 360 era, a lot of these bigger games and more popular games are getting remasters and remakes up the ass. Like by the time you get a decent library, half the games that you worked on have gotten a remaster, or they want them taken off that service anyways because they're re-releasing them. Like the Batmans, and I'm not gonna go through the list. You can fucking, you know what I mean? Mass Effects, all that shit.
Because they're gonna they're gonna capitalize on what they're gonna capitalize. And I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? Not mad.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying you go through all that work to emulate some shit on PS3, spend all this money, and then next week the goddamn PS5 remaster comes out with the whole collection, and you just went through these. You know what I mean?
Look, I just need a trilogy remaster of both Killzone and Resistance, and I'll be happy.
Oh yeah, I want that slide too.
Yeah. I want all like. I know that they've redone. Ken knows what I'm about to say. I know they've redone Shadow of the Colossus, but I want the PS2 Shadow of the Colossus. I want it.
Well, hey, just know that Metal Gear Solid is in the works in 2024, man. So we got to be looking forward to that year, man. Because I think 2024 is going to be the biggest year of gaming. Let's be real.
Bro, why can't we get a new Castlevania? I don't understand, man. Konami is slacking.
Konami don't make games no more.
No, but then they got a crazy IP that they could be doing something with. Like, what are you doing?
Well, they were making money on those Plinko machines until recently.
Fuck the machines, man.
That's where they were making more money off that shit than games. That's why they were using their IP to make fucking casino games. Shit like mobile games, dude. You just put the quarter in and then it says, fuck you, thanks for the money.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
But yeah, I'm a wrap this shit up. Thank you guys for jumping in and saying your pieces and shit like that. I kind of wish the guy that was talking about Xbox, I kind of wish he was more had more input. Put it that way. Unfortunately, no input whatsoever. It's unfortunate. It's super unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Wait, did somebody leave? Wait, did somebody leave or something?
He left a long time ago when I told him where the game's at. And then he never said anything.
Conversation like went off the rails, yo.
Because he was talking about the Game Pass is not the same thing as PlayStation Plus, and what about PlayStation Now? I'm like, nigga, that's dead. It's been dead.
You know what he was doing, man, and this is all I'm gonna say, man. Before you,
somebody chopped up. Say again.
No, I was gonna say, man, this is the last thing I'm gonna say though. Like when he was in here, man, he was trying to like, I don't know, do that whole, not only the whole kumbaya bullshit that you always hear a lot of them Xbox dudes do, man, but he was trying to also do like the, why don't you keep the same energy type shit? Like the whole console award shit that you hear people, they always jump into spaces, man, and they're like, oh, you want to talk about this, but why don't you talk about that? Well, okay. And that's the energy he came in here. He was like, "Oh, we shouldn't compare services. It's not apples and oranges." Yeah, yeah, but you didn't have a problem doing that shit. When the fucking consoles first launched. But okay, whatever, bro. You do you, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty disingenuous, and I get it. Motherfuckers is really fighting. They fighting for it, man. That's okay though. That's okay. But I mean, I posed the question for him to really think about what he was saying. You need to come at Microsoft and ask them where the game's at. Do that. You know what I mean? Don't worry about what I'm saying. You talk about did you play Horizon or did you buy it on game or did you buy it on PS Plus? Not that one. There's other games that I played on PS Plus. All right, what do you say? And then I love it too because I always go to war with these people and they can't fucking see me. That's why they go for the Metacritic. I said, yo, user reviews are fucking low for your games. User reviews. That's people that actually played it and didn't like it. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, he said, for real? And then the other guy was like, well, I wish it wasn't in tiers. I'm like, well, it's choice. Well, I wish it wasn't in tiers because it's more money. I'm like, no, it's not. It's fucking $40 more for a Game Pass, and they don't have the content at all. So, I mean, they don't have enough content in any capacity. You know what I mean? Apparently, the content that Microsoft has been peddling with Game Pass is hopes and dreams.
Man, I looked through that shit. That shit mad as fuck.
No, but that's what they've been peddling. It's been hopes and dreams. Just you wait,
bro. PS Plus pretty much got all the good games they got on there, and then some.
That's what I'm saying. And they were like this. It's like, could you imagine somebody keep promising you? Could you imagine you go to your job and they're like, yo, you can make $80 an hour, yo. Oh man, just you wait. I'm about to make that paycheck. You know what I mean? You do your 80 hours for the 2 weeks and shit like that. You're like, you got my money? No, but it's coming, though. I'm trying to tell you, the benefits is crazy. Yo, just work one more week. And you work another week. Well, when my paycheck coming? It's coming, yo. It times that by 7 years. You ever got paid anything?
Ain't no way.
You know what I'm saying? And they've been promising all sorts of shit for 7, 8, 9, 10 years and haven't really gotten anything out of it. I couldn't be bothered.
I don't understand how Microsoft is like, bro. It's okay. It's not simple, but like, damn, bro. We just want y'all to make some better games, bro, and be consistent. Like, damn.
That's all people been saying, but for some reason they think that we coming at Microsoft some way. Like, damn, did you birth Microsoft? Is that what you did? Is that your baby?
Yeah, see that's the main issue, man. You know, is the consistency. You know, because a lot of people will say, oh, they had games and stuff like that, but you know, a lot of the games, and like I said, man, a lot of this shit is subjective, man. A lot of people are gonna say, oh, I loved Pentiment, you know what I mean? But Pentiment, like, you got to be honest with yourself, bro. Like, Pentiment is not gonna sell your fucking console, man. It's not even gonna sell your service. People are not gonna spend the money to play Pentiment, bro. You know, you need to have something like more, like a higher echelon game, man, to get people into your service. And that's the problem, man. They've just had
exactly
in there.
Hey, I do think that Sony has the perfect way they do things too. Like,
and you know, funny, you know, a funny thing I like to hear.
What happened?
You know, the funny thing I like to hear.
No, I was just gonna say that I think the thing that Sony does good is that, like, when they release when they don't have first party games coming out, they fill the void with good third party exclusives. You know what I'm saying? The problem with Xbox is when they get like certain third party exclusives, a lot of them be mid, and you know, shit, it doesn't fill that void.
Yeah, like Scorn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, whoever is securing like the third party exclusives for Xbox, bro, they need to like get somebody else probably, because that's just not working out for them.
Yo, to be honest with you, man, I can't stand that whole discourse around third party, man. You know, because it is the most disingenuous conversations that I've ever fucking heard, man. You know, because like
that's all they gotta do is just get better at getting better third party exclusives when they can. That's the reason why Sony is winning, because they're doing that when they can't, while they're cooking up their first party games.
It's funny.
And it keeps us busy until those games come out.
And I think you're right. I think that's a strong thing that you need to have, man. Like, if your first party isn't going to be like, you know, super strong, you need to have like strong third party. You know what I'm saying?
But and that's the reason why Final Fantasy, like something like Final Fantasy 16, is such a big thing, because it's like people are going to be playing that.
But you know,
until until Spider-Man comes out or some shit.
You know what's irritating to me about that shit though is that, like, you'll have a game, right, like Fantasy 16 that looks amazing. Like, I think the game looks amazing, and obviously a lot of people do, because it's been like a lot of people have been hyping the shit up, right, for a little bit now. But it's like Sony can't, right, for the game third party, right, unless it's a game like fucking Forspoken. You know what I mean? Forspoken comes out, it's kind of like it gets bad reviews. Oh, all of a sudden it's Sony's fucking problem. You know what I mean? They just maybe on the front door. That fucker. You know what I'm saying? But Final Fantasy, you don't get credit. That's third party. You know, not.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You know, and it's just I don't like that shit, man. It's kind of annoying. But I think it's true though, man. I think you need to have like good, strong third party, man. Like if your first party isn't going to be there right then, like yeah. And I think even with Microsoft, man, they've had third party shit, man. But a lot of it has been kind of like I said, it's all subjective. You know, for some people, for most people, everybody really. But you know, I would say like for the vast majority of people, man, like a lot of those games they're not mass appeal games. You know what I'm saying? Not something like Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna end this shit, man. It's been 2 hours, and I told everybody I was going to be quick, and it never works. If only I was like this in the bedroom with these chicks.
Yeah, you said that about it. Like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I meant to.
Anyway,
you know what's funny? I like how they use and I know half you guys have kids, right? They use that as an excuse of why they prefer not to pay $70 and just say Game Pass is the way to go. I know you guys heard that.
Ken, what did we say before? What did we say about Returnal? Everybody started having like 5 kids and shit like that when they played Returnal. Talk about stuff.
Yo, that's when we were in the space yesterday, bro. it's like, yo, as soon as Returnal came out, everybody's like, yo, we want a unique game, man. We want something different. Okay, here's Sony. Here, take this. You get Returnal, right? That'll work for you, right? All of a sudden, everybody had fucking 5 kids in a family. Nobody had time. Oh, Sony, you ain't respecting my time. What the fuck are you doing?
Like, get the fuck out of here. No saves.
Bro, they'll say shit like that while praising games that praising about playing games that you play for like 150 hours or 200 hours in. Like, come on, man.
Yo, all of a sudden, everybody was working 60-hour week jobs. You know what I'm saying? And nobody had no fucking time.
Hey, you guys know King Thresh is?
They'll kill Sony games for being one.
Yeah. Who said that? Hold on. Who said that?
Y'all know King Thresh is? I think he's trying to invite me to a podcast, so I'm gonna hit y'all up.
Oh yeah. Get out here.